What's up guys, Chaos Shinobi here. This is What If Naruto is Neglected and Abused. Summary: Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, a boy beaten mercilessly when he was a kid by the villagers and neglected by his family. A kid forced to grow up on his own. How would he survive in this cruel yet so beautiful world? Fatherly figure QB, Smart Naruto. Chapter 1, Streets of Konoha, 11:12 p.m. A blonde-haired, 5-year-old kid can be seen running away from the angry mobs. "Stop running, demon!" a guy from the mob yelled angrily, but the boy didn't obey. He just kept on running and followed what his instincts told him. The boy was so focused on running for his life that he didn't notice a rock enough for a person to get tripped on. It was on the road. The boy stepped on it and got tripped. He looks back on his pursuers only for his face to meet a kick. The kid's nose was bleeding. As he clutched his nose, he then yelled, "Just what did I did to you people?" Now the boy was crying. "What did you did to us? What you did to us was completely unforgivable," a woman from the mob holding a knife replied, yelling, "You killed our loved ones." Another guy with a torch also yelled, "You even killed our beloved son Daime." A guy with a green vest yelled, "Kill the demon fox." Another guy with a green vest yelled, pulling out a kunai on his pouch. The kid was beaten, mercilessly, like he was a punching bag. The beating lasted for 2 hours and left the small body on its own blood lying in the street. Some who aren't satisfied spitted on his body. Miraculously the kid was still breathing after the beating thanks to the fox living inside him. His name was Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the carrier of the soul of the nine-tailed demon fox, or Kyuubi for short. He's also the eldest of the Namikaze siblings in terms of time of birth. 5 years ago, October 10th, an attack happened that almost destroyed half of the Konoha wall thanks to the Kyuubi. Before the attack happened, Kushina was giving birth for her 3 children while Minato, the 4th Hokage, was holding his wife's hand. "It's all gonna be okay," Minato tried to reassure his wife. "I know, idiot," Kushina smiled, her face mixed with joy and pain. The first kid to arrive was Naruto, the next was Menma. He had a blonde hair with its tips on red. The last one was Izami. She had a red hair. Kushina fainted because of the exhaustion. "Kushina?" Minato said, his face was full with fear of losing his wife. "It's okay, Minato, she's just exhausted," Tsunade interrupted, smiling as she watched the 3 children. What they didn't know is that someone with an orange mask was using this opportunity to extract the Kyuubi. As Minato was about to have a heavy sigh, it was interrupted by a strong push, making them hit the walls except for Kushina. And then you know what happened next. The son Daime sacrificed his life, sealing the yin chakra on Menma, the yang chakra on Izami, and the soul on Naruto. The last words of the son Daime to Minato were to take good care of his children. After the battle, Minato carried his children home. As he came home, she was slapped on the face by Kushina, saying that their children will suffer the fate of a Jinchuriki, but Minato assured her that it would never happen. After that day, Minato tried to recover the morale of his people and announced about his children. The civilians were happy and look up to Menma and Izami as a hero. The same cannot be said to Naruto. Majority of the civilians demand that Naruto should be killed, only to hear a warning from Minato that those who attack his son will be sent to Ibiki. Of course the civilians didn't listen. Naruto weakly opened his eyes and mumbled, Is it over?" Naruto was still whimpering because of the pain all over his body. He walked to his home limping, bruises and cuts all over his body. As he arrived at his home, his bleeding cheek was welcomed by a strong slap. "Where the hell did you go this late, you good for nothing?" Minato stopped on his ranting as he saw Naruto's state. "Son?" The people in the room were horrified looking at Naruto. Kushina was covering her mouth with both of her hands and tears was forming on her eyes. The same could be said to Izami. Izami was a perfect copy of Kushina except for the hair. She had bangs in her hair stop at her neck just like Yuri's from Angel Beats. Menma was also shaking and his mouth was left open. He can't believe what happened to his brother. And Minato was also shaking furiously. He tried to say sorry, but Naruto interrupted it by saying, "I hate you," while his hands on his bleeding cheek. Naruto, being a kid, tried to run away but failed. His body meets the cold floor. As exhaustion was already on its limits, he closed his eyes slowly. He can hear his siblings running to him, and then it all became dark. 5 years later, a now 10-year-old Naruto woke up. He was panting as he recalled his dream, his past. "Kid, are you okay?" A worried voice from his mind interrupted his thinking. "Yeah, I'm fine, Atu-san," Naruto replied as he rubbed his eyes with his right arm. "Are you sure? I can see that you're having that dream about that incident again, and how many times should I tell you? My name is Kurama, not Atu-san," the voice now named Kurama said in his mind. "Yeah, I'm sure it's just the past," Naruto replied, looking at the window, his face with a frown, watching his family having a great time. A lot has changed after that incident. Naruto's eyes was now red instead of aqua blue, his IQ were off the charts that would even put Shikaku to shame. He's also quiet and can easily understand human behavior, all thanks to Kurama's mental training. His eyes in the books he keeps on reading, no Icha Icha. His a prodigy is what the Uchihas, Hyugas and Naras call him, but his parents were too busy helping Menma and Azami harness the fox chakra for them to notice. I think I'm gonna go out for a while, buy some books, Naruto said to himself. He then changed into his red-orange hooded jacket. Underneath it was a green long sleeve with its sleeves on black, a gray-colored pants, and a black shoes. He also wears the pendant that the QB gave him on his birthday and the headphone on his neck that the QB also gave him on his birthday. You guys decide the design. As he goes downstairs he watches his family smiling at each other and their father praising Azami and Menma for their good work. He decided to leave them be, he would just be a burden for them. Flashback. 5 years and 3 months ago after the incident, the whole family was on the living room watching TV except for Naruto who was reading a book. Minato suddenly turns off the TV. Azami, Menma, me and your mother will start your training today, Minato said smiling at his two children, and that earned Naruto's attention. Yay, training! Azami and Menma cheered. Quiet now kids, Kushina said, also having a big smile on her face. But what about me? Naruto questioned. We will start your training when you enter the academy. Minato kneeled down in front of Naruto and pets his son on the head. But, we will start their training early so that they can control the QB's chakra properly, Kushina interrupted, who also pets Naruto's head. Maybe you can use a bunshine to train me? Naruto suggested. Minato and Kushina knows that Naruto was smart but they need to put Naruto aside because of the prophecy Jiraiya said. But what they didn't know is that Naruto heard all of it. Can ni train with us Atu-san? Menma and Azami said in unison. Fine, Minato said defeatedly, but Naruto can read Minato's behavior as he said that. He don't really like to train Naruto, even Kushina's. Never mind, have fun Menma, Azami, I'll just ask next time Atu-san. Oka-san, Naruto said, his back facing them. He then walked to the main door to go outside. Don't worry kid, I'll be the one that will train you. But don't expect it will be easy. Kurama tried to cheer him up and was welcomed by a sad smile courtesy of Naruto. Thanks, Kurama. After 3 years, Naruto and his siblings were already 8 and they started going to the academy. Just as what you predicted, Naruto is the greatest at the academy, Sasuke and his siblings trailing. As they arrived at their house, Kushina and Minato immediately hugged them except for Naruto who was expecting for them to hug him too. So how was your day, son? Minato asked. It was great, Naruto answered, but was replied by an unexpected answer. I'm not asking about yours, I ask about Menma's, Minato replied. Okay. Sorry, Naruto lowered his head as he said that. It was great, Atu-san. I also acquired a lot of friends. Menma answered grinning. That's great, Minato said ruffling Menma's hair. They then entered the dining room and proceeded to eat their dinner. Ramen again? Naruto thought to himself. They were busy eating and talking about their day except for Naruto who was just eating his food slowly and just listening on their conversation. Then Naruto remembered something. Atu-san, Naruto said catching their attention. You said before right that you would train me when we enter the academy? Now we already entered the academy, you can train me now right? Naruto said hoping for the answer as hoping for. Minato gave a look at Kushina for a while then Kushina decided to speak. Your father will train you if he wants to. Naruto Kushina spoke. But you told me that. Naruto did not finish his sentence because Kushina interrupted him. No buts Naruto, it's final Kushina said, but it sounded like a command. Okay, thanks for the food. Then Naruto immediately stand up leaving his food unfinished and decided to go out to let off steam. What he didn't expect that his siblings followed him outside without leaving the door open. Now what do you want? Naruto questioned angrily. Chan, they love us with all their hearts and they hate you, Azami said as she stuck her tongue out. Now go away here scum. Menma tried to push Naruto but Naruto evaded it then walks away. Thanks for the concern then Naruto said sarcastically and was also waving them goodbye. Don't mind them kid, they just don't know how lucky they are to have a son and a brother like you. Kurama tried to cheer up Naruto and succeeded. I'm also lucky to have a furball living inside me, and also, thanks for always being here every time I'm down. Atu-san, Naruto replied, wiping a single tear on his right eyes. Flashback end. He was thankful at the fox, for being there for him every time he's down. He's also thankful about the incident. If it ain't for that the Naruto right now is non-existent and it would even take longer for Naruto to meet the fox. He also remembered how he unlocked his bloodline after that incident. Another flashback. After Naruto closed his eyes, he awoke in a sewer. Where am I? Was all Naruto think about. After walking around he met a dead end. It was a cage with a seal on it. Hello? Naruto said hoping that someone is there and not there at the same time. So my jailer decided to visit his pet. Huh? A gigantic fox with red eyes appeared inside the cage. Kyubi. I thought you were dead, Naruto said shocked. Do demons die? No, Kyubi said. I guess having the soul means having you living inside me, Naruto said. Kit, I'm sorry if you have to endure all of that because of me, Kyubi said. His voice was low. No, it's okay, Naruto interrupted. Huh? Kyubi was shocked at his answer. I know that we Jinchuriki have to suffer this fate, well except for my siblings, it's just, the villagers were so stupid not to know what's the difference of a jailer and a real demon. Hatred covered their eyes. If I were them I would definitely do the same thing, Naruto said. And I know that you will not attack a village suddenly without a cause. The Kyubi was shocked at what Naruto said. Should I be proud to have a smart jailer like, or should I have to kill you right now? The Kyubi said jokingly, and of course Naruto being a kid almost wet his pants as he heard what the Kyubi said in the kill part. So Kit, wanna hear why I attacked the village 5 years ago? Kyubi said. Sure. The Kyubi explained how he was controlled by Uchiha Madara, how he attacked the village against his own will, and how the Sun Daime sacrificed his life sealing the yin and yang chakra on his siblings and the soul to him. And also Kit, you unlocked a very helpful bloodline. Really? Naruto said, hoping that it was true. Really? But let me ask you one thing, what should you do with it? Easy, I'm gonna use it to protect my important people and protect those who need to be protected, Naruto said with determination in his eyes, and that shocked Kyubi again. You're willing to protect humans who beat you mercilessly? Why not? They're just victims of losing their precious people. Azami, you really know how to choose a person. Now that makes Kyubi very proud of his jailer. And do you have a name? A real name? Kurama, my name is Kurama. Then nice to meet you, Kurama, and in case if you don't know my name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Naruto said smiling. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, you really are a kid full of surprises, Kurama said to himself. Also, can I change the scenery? Naruto interrupted. Of course, it's your mind anyway, Kurama replied. Then the sewers was replaced by a grassy island with only a single tree on it, surrounded by water, and its ceiling was replaced by a dark sky full of stars. You really have a wild imagination, kid. Well, at least I can walk freely here than the old one, Kurama commented. Well, it's my dream to be in a place like this, Naruto replied. Flashback end. Naruto smiled at the memory. As he arrived at the bookstore, the clerk was about to push him away when suddenly he pulled a small bag full of money at his and threw it at the counter. He then said, "Shut up," and the clerk listened. Who cares as long he had a money? He then leave the store carrying a cellophane full of books. As he was walking on the streets, he sensed a stone coming his way. He catch it and look at the person who throws it. It was a kid. He sighed, then used his eyes to disappear like a bubble. Now the kid was creeped out. He deactivated his eyes as he was close to his home. Naruto arrived at the Namikaze compound. He saw his family talking to the new neighbors, the Vocaloids. It's their last name. Example: Miku Hatsune Vocaloid / Luka Megarine Vocaloid. He saw his siblings playing with the neighbors' kids except for one who was between her parents' legs. She had a long, beautiful hair that stops on her waist, and she also had blue eyes. He stops for a moment as he saw her looking at him. Their eyes met. Naruto then immediately looks away, blushing. The same could be said to her. She's so pretty was all Naruto thought, but was interrupted by a howling fox. Shut up, Hatu-san. Is it bad for a father to be happy to know that his son was starting to like someone? Kurama said jokingly. Naruto then entered the Namikaze house and goes to his room to start reading his new brought books. After 4 hours of reading, it was already 8:30 p.m. Naruto finished at least 3 books. As hunger hits him, he then goes downstairs. As he was about to take a food on the refrigerator, he overheard his parents talking. Azami and Menma's birthday was closing by Minato. What's your plan? Kushina asked. Well, I was planning to sign them the Toad contract, and also I would like to announce that Menma will be the heir of the Namikaze clan, Minato replied. That's a great idea, Minato, Kushina replied, happiness mixed on her voice. I always have the greatest idea, Minato also replied. Naruto was completely shocked, his legs about to give up. His face was flowing with tears, hands curled into fists. It's always about Azami and Menma having a lot of things coming for them, but what he got? Nothing. They have taken everything from him, his name and his childhood. Then the main door was slammed courtesy of Naruto going out, but the couple didn't even bother because they were too busy doing their session. Meanwhile, at the Vocaloid's compound, Luka Megarine Vocaloid just finished placing her things on her room. Her room was average and the color blue and green can be seen everywhere. She then looked outside her window and saw the boy wearing a red-orange jacket earlier, running and crying. As she watches the boy run, she accidentally activated her power. Her heart aches as she feels the blonde sorrow. She immediately changed into her white jacket, just like at the interviewer, and decided to go after him, but before going she asked her parents that she would go out for a while. And of course they were about to object, but when they saw the painful look of Luka and also feels the sorrow of the boy, they decided to approve. Meanwhile, at a cliff nearby, Naruto was standing at the edge of the cliff. shouting his feelings out. He can't take it anymore. It's always about the two of them. Even his godparents neglected him for the favor of his twins. Life is just so cruel. Do they really have to put him aside and neglect him just because of a stupid toad prophecy? No. Instead of teaching him how to be a ninja and care for him, they just put him aside. The neglect is just too much to take. Naruto then looked down at the deep ravine. You know already what is thinking. If I die right now, they won't even care, right? There won't be any anchor for them being a happy family, right? Right? Naruto said aloud to himself. Kit, it's okay Kit, I'm here for you. Kurama tried to calm Naruto down but to no avail. Now Kurama was scared of what's gonna happen next. Can you believe that? Kurama the great nine-tailed demon beast was scared of losing his vessel. I guess this is goodbye then. Naruto smiled sadly as he said that. He could hear Kurama, his Anto-san, yelling inside his head to not to do it. Tears started to fall from his eyes as he closed his eyes. As he was about to fall, happy moments of his life flushed his mind. As he opened his eyes again, he was surprised as someone pulled him away from the cliff. Before he hit the ground, he saw at the edge of his left eye a familiar long pink hair. As he hit the ground, he immediately stand up. It's like a backbend or whatever that is, and look at the person who pulled him. It was the girl with the long hair earlier. She's also wearing a white jacket. He was worried but was immediately changed into anger. Why did you interrupt? Naruto said. His voice was low. Eh? The girl was confused at what he said. I said why you saved me? Naruto was now yelling. He was about to find peace but this girl interrupted it. He also didn't realize that tears was now falling again from his eyes. He was about to yell again but was interrupted by a hug. What are you doing? Naruto said, his voice still loud. Please, stop it. Naruto heard the girl said. Please, don't cry now. The girl was looking at his eyes, red eyes with her own blue eyes. As Naruto looked at her eyes, he feels like letting all of his emotions out while hugging her. But what making him confused is that she's also crying. Why are you crying? Naruto asked, hoping that is not the reason why, but yeah, he's wrong. It's because I can feel your sorrow, the girl said. Naruto was shocked at what the girl said and decided to ask. What do you mean you can feel my sorrow, and how does my sorrow feel like? We Vocaloids can feel any feelings and read the mind of the person we're looking at. And about your sorrow, it feels so painful, the pain of being neglected, it hurts so much, the girl said between tears. Naruto was now shocked again. I'm here for you if you want to let it all out, the girl said, smiling brightly. Naruto could swear that the one in front of him was a goddess. He then lowered his head in front of her as tears started to fall again. He could feel the warm hug of her as he cried all of his feeling out and yelled as loud as he can. After 5 minutes of crying, Naruto realized on what situation he was in right now. He immediately pulled away, stand up and bows his head in front of her. I'm sorry for crying in front of you, Naruto said, blushing while wiping the tears on his face with his sleeve. No, it's fine, the girl said. I'm definitely sorry. The girl just looked at her, smiling so brightly. What's your name by the way? Naruto asked, still blushing. Luca, Vocaloid Megarine. Luca, what's yours? The girl now named replied. Luca replied. Naruto, Namikaze Uzumaki. Naruto replied. Nice to meet you, Naruto. Kun. She tilts her head a bit and handshake Naruto. Likewise, Naruto now was smiling. He feel refreshed after crying all of his feeling out. Naruto then looks at his watch and noticed it was already past 10 p.m. I should probably walk you home, Luca-san. Naruto spoke. Thanks, Luca replied. After walking for 10 minutes, they arrived at the Vocaloid compound and was about to say their farewells when suddenly Luca asked something. Are you going home to your home? I don't feel like going home, Naruto replied, looking at the ground. Then just stay here instead. A man with a dark blue hair and also blue-colored eyes said. It's not Kaido. Atu-san. Luca was shocked. Atu-san. Naruto was also shocked. Since you don't feel like going home, and going home in a place like that right now would even make you more depressed, right? Luca's father grinned. I appreciate the offer but I don't want to be a burden to your family, Vocaloid, Sama. Naruto replied. Naruto-san, please, Luca's father pleaded. Now Naruto had second thoughts, and think about it for a while. He then decided to accept the offer. I accept the offer, thank you, Vocaloid, Sama. Naruto said, his also confused why her father know about his name. It's probably about their unique ability. Please just call me Meguki. Luca's father smiled at him again. Okay, Voka, Meguki-san. Naruto returned the smile. And don't expect that you're gonna sleep in the same room with my daughter. Meguki was suddenly in front of Naruto, smiling at him evilly, and tick marks appeared on his face. Trust me, Meguki-san, I'm not thinking about that. Naruto put both of his hands in front of him defensively. Good, well then follow me, Meguki replied, who was now at his spot earlier. Weird. Naruto was alerted at the speed and then proceeded to follow Meguki, Luca trailing behind. As they arrived at their destination, Meguki opened the guest room. "This is where you're sleeping. Feel yourself at home," Meguki said, gesturing Naruto to go inside. The place was beautiful. It's like the bedroom of the royals even if it was just a guest room. Naruto then heard Meguki yawn. "I can take it from here. Thank you for assisting me, Meguki-san," Naruto said, trying not to be much of a burden for him. "Are you sure?" "Well, I'm going then." Meguki walks away and turns back for a while and said, "And also if you feel like a burden, you're not." He smiled and then continued walking away. "Luka-san, thanks." Naruto spoke suddenly. "No, it's fine, Naruto-kun," Luka said and kissed Naruto on the cheek. "Good night, Naruto-kun." She smiled so brightly again, then walks out of the room, probably to go to her own personal room. Naruto was left standing, his hand on the cheeks where she kissed him. "Did she just kiss me?" Naruto questioned himself, not believing at what just happened. "Of course she did." Kit Kurama's voice interrupted his thinking. "Ato-san, you had me worried out there for a second." Kit Kurama's voice was loud, like a father who's dead worried about his son. "I'm sorry." "Don't be. I know it's hard to get over with, but next time, Kit, remember every dark times there's always a light coming for your rescue." "I'm really sorry, Ato-san. I don't know where am I right now without you." "Sleep now, Kit. Tomorrow is going to be a long day," Kurama said, and a yawn was then heard after that. "Good night, Ato-san," Naruto replied and proceeded to lie down on the bed. "Tomorrow, huh?" He then closed his eyes. After that night, 7 p.m. "Why are you on top of me?" Naruto said in a bored tone, looking at the smiling, aquamarine-haired girl. Her face is so close to his. The girl just smiled and pulled the left cheek of Naruto. "You're so cute when you're sleeping, Naru-chan." Tilda. "Naru-chan? What? You don't like the name?" The girl gets out of the bed and puts a sad look. No, it's just, it sounds so childish." Naruto puts both of his hands in front of him. "But we are still a child," she pouted. "Fine," Naruto responded, defeated. "So you're fine with it?" She beamed. "Your choice." "Yay. Then from now on I'm gonna call you Naru-chan," she said with such enthusiasm. "So from now on then I'm gonna call you also what's your name?" Naruto replied with fake enthusiasm. She chuckled. "Sorry, my name is Miku Hatsune Vocaloid. Nice to meet you, Naru-chan." She offered a hand and Naruto shake it with his own. "Hatsune? So you and Luka are not siblings? And also, did you read my mind when I was sleeping?" Naruto asked. "Are you going to be mad at me because I read your mind without your permission?" Miku's beaming face was now replaced into a sad one. "It's fine, but just this once, so, you know that I can also read minds?" She shook her head. "What? Why?" "Because when I read your mind some are inaccessible." "Oh, I covered some important parts, Kit. You should be thankful." Kurama's voice spoke inside his head. "Well, thanks, I guess." "If you really can read minds, then what's my favorite food?" Miku asked. "Leek." Naruto's sweat dropped when he said that. "Hey, you don't like leek? But it's good." "Good? Eating leek when it's raw?" Naruto grimaced at the thought. Eating a raw leek. "Miku-chan, is the boy awake now?" A female voice can be heard from downstairs. "Yes, Andy," Miku replied. "Then tell him to go downstairs to eat breakfast." "Eh?" Naruto was shocked. She looked at Miku smiling, and then she pulled Naruto out the door. As they go downstairs, he saw Meguki watching TV at the living room with a platinum blonde-haired girl, and Luka's mother serving breakfast with Luka helping. Meguki saw him and greeted him with a smile. He also returned the favor. When he reached the dining room, Luka and Luka's mother, Muka, also greeted him. Then they all gathered at the dining room and sit on their respective seats. They clasped their hands and bowed slightly. Then they all said in unison "Itadakimasu" and started digging at their own food, except for Naruto, who's just staring at his plate. Luka noticed it. "Naruto-kun, are you okay?" Luka worriedly said. It catches the attention of the crowd and looks at Naruto, with a sad look on their faces. "I'm fine, Luka-san. Thanks for asking." Naruto responded nervously. It's his first time eating on someone else's house. "Are you sure?" "Why yeah." Then they continue eating. After eating, Naruto was walking to his home, looking at the red scroll with blue flames on its sides, on his hands. He then remembered what Meguki told him when he gave it to him before leaving their house. Flashback. Naruto was now outside the Megurin Vocaloid's door. "Thanks for taking care of me and I'm sorry for bothering." Naruto bowed. "How many times should I tell you that you're not a bother?" Meguki said, smiling. "But, no buts. Also take this." Meguki said, pulling a scroll on his pocket and throws it at Naruto. "What is this?" "A scroll that can help you greatly." "Really? Why are you giving me this?" "Meguki-san, it's because I can sense you're worthy." Meguki grinned. "Are you sure, Meguki-san?" Naruto asked. "Yeah, and when you read that, your eyes should be activated." Meguki responded. Naruto gave a confused look at what he means. He didn't know that Meguki already knows about his eye ability, but why should he read it with those activated? He was about to ask but Meguki interrupted it. If you're confused, it's because you can only read it by using your eyes. If you don't, you can only see a blank white paper without a single word written on it. Okay, thank you Meguki-san. And if you want to visit Luca, the door is always open Meguki said with a wink. Naruto blushed when he mentioned visit Luca. If I have time. I'm off now Meguki-san Naruto said walking away. Oto-san, you said that you covered some important parts of my mind right? Yup. Then why did he know about my eye ability? I don't know. Maybe he managed to read through the barrier. Flashback end. Naruto arrived at his home, the scroll hidden on his pocket. He was about to open the door when suddenly it was opened on the other side. He saw his family smiling at each other. They saw him but they just passed him by. Naruto's blood boiled just by seeing their faces. Without a word he immediately ran to his room. When he was inside his room, he locked the door and pulled the scroll out in his pocket. I wonder what's inside Naruto said to himself. Be careful kid, I sense danger on that scroll Kurama warned. I know, Oto-san. Naruto untied the scroll and looked at what's inside but he still didn't use his eyes. It really is blank Naruto then used his eyes, then he saw the notes. It was an alien language. When suddenly he feel intense pain on his left eye, he immediately put a hand on his left eye. What shocked him is that the words were getting absorbed by him. After that no words was seen and Naruto feels like his left eye is burning. He immediately go to the bathroom and look at the mirror. He was surprised at what he saw. His right eye was red and the left eye instead of red it was changed by blue and was producing blue fire. Cool, but it also hurts like hell, Naruto mumbled. He then closed his eyes to deactivate it. He opened his eyes and looked at the mirror. It's still the same but the blue flame was gone. Heterochromia Naruto mumbled then suddenly he feel dizzy. He wobbled going to his bed and then he fell to his bed unconsciously. Meanwhile at Vocaloid compound, Meguki was drinking a tea while reading a book when suddenly a blast from inside their house interrupted his reading. What the? Meguki immediately ran to where the blast occurred. A katana materialized on both of his hands. He saw Muka on the ground. She had a hole in her stomach. Muka. Meguki immediately ran to her and hold her hands. Meguki, sorry. I guessed she was interrupted by another blast. Don't talk. Save your energy Meguki was shaking furiously, he's too scared to lost his wife. Archie children was taken Muka between coughs. Who take them Meguki was angered hearing his children was taken. Auto nins now that shocked Meguki. Please Meguki bring them back. Promise Muka said, crying. I will even if it cost me my life Meguki said also crying. Thank you Meguki. I'll love you Muka said between tears, putting a hand on Meguki's face. I love you too, Muka then they kissed. Their final kiss, as life abandoned Muka's body, Meguki was now crying furiously. You'll pay for this Orochimaru, Meguki said furiously he then disappeared into a blue blur. Somewhere in the forest of Land of Fire. Orochimaru and 15 other Auto ninjas was on the run. Orochimaru was carrying an unconscious Luka and Miku while the other ninja next to him has Ya. Orochimaru was smiling evilly as he watched the two future of the Sound Village when suddenly his shoulders were cut cleanly by a blue blur and also the ninja next to him has his head flying in the air. It cost them to drop their victim. So you decided to join the party huh? Meguki-kun Orochimaru said, his tongue waving violently. And you're still as disgusting as ever huh? Orochimaru Meguki said, while two clones were caught the children and disappeared into a blue blur. Go after them, I'll take care of this man Orochimaru ordered his men. Hi. Orochimaru-sama then the 14 ninjas go after the clones. Not so fast Meguki tried to go after them but was stopped by a snake coming from the arm of a fully recovered Orochimaru. Remember I'm your enemy Meguki-kun and that starts a bloody battle. Meanwhile at Naruto's room. Kit Kurama spoke. What is it Oto-san? I'm still sleepy Naruto responded sleepily and goes back to his sleeping. A tick mark appeared at Kurama's forehead. He then decided the only way to wake up Naruto. Wake up you lazy idiot. Kurama yelled. Okay, I'm awake. Geez, is that really necessary? Naruto groaned. Good, and it is necessary. Anyway kid I feel like something bad was about to happen. You think so? I do too Naruto responded. Then an explosion happened. What the? Kit. The explosion was coming from the Vocaloid compound. I know. Naruto was about to run downstairs when suddenly he feel an intense pain from his left eye and fell to his knees. Ugh. Please not right now. Naruto said in frustration and another explosion happened. Now this makes Naruto more worried. He get up on his knees and started running. He didn't mind the intense pain, as long as he know that his precious people are not hurt, it's enough. When Naruto arrived at the Vocaloid compound there was a lot of people and water-style ninjas on the rooftops to extinguish the fire. He was shocked when he realized it was the Megurine Vocaloid's household is the one burning. What shocked him more is to see the body of Luca's mother, Muka, being carried by two ninjas out the house. Tears started to fall from his eyes, then suddenly everything went blue and he can see two Meguki carrying an unconscious Luka, Miku and Ya being chased by 14 ninjas throwing kunais and attacking them with jutsus. Without hesitating he immediately goes to them. Unbeknown to him, his left eye was producing blue fire again. "Please be okay," Luka-san, Naruto said to himself worriedly. At the Meguki clones. Meguki's clones is having a hard time dodging kunais and jutsus coming from the 14 Naruto-nins. Then the clone that was carrying Ya had an idea. They part ways, but of course only 4 was going after the clone carrying Ya. The clones meets up again when they lost the auto ninjas when suddenly a loud cry was heard coming from where Meguki and Orochimaru was last seen, and the clones puff into smokes resulting Luka, Miku and Ya to fall, but the auto nins caught them before they hit the ground. They were about to depart when suddenly the auto nins that was carrying the girls was incinerated by a blue flame. Then 3 blonde-haired, wearing a red-orange jacket boy caught the girls in a blur. The boy was no other than Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto was glaring at them dangerously, plus his burning left eye making him more intimidating. Most of the auto nins was shaking because of the killing intent Naruto was producing. "What are you waiting for? Kill the brat," the acting commander ordered. They all followed. "Bring them back to the village." Naruto created another clone to assist his 2 clones. The clones nodded and disappeared. Naruto smirked, then he also disappeared. The auto nins was on their guards, surrounding the sensor type auto nin. "Can you sense him?" the acting commander asked the sensor. The sensor's eyes became wide. "No sir, not even a small chakra can be sensed." "We should stick together in case of he shows up," the acting commander suggested, when suddenly someone spoke behind him. "Do you know about the saying that don't put all of your eggs in one basket?" Naruto spoke behind him ghostly. The acting commander was shaking furiously. He turned his head slowly and saw the flaming left eye of the blonde, and he also saw a small fire on the blonde's left hand. "Kaden, Shukaku no Jutsu/Fire Style, Incineration Technique," Naruto mumbled. Then he put his left hand on the acting commander's face. As he retracted his hands, the acting commander's body was enveloped by a blue fire. After 5 seconds the body was turned into an ash. The auto nin's eyes were as wide as the plates. They can't believe that a Jounin level ninja will be defeated by a brat with only 1 attack, but being the stupid they are, they started attacking the blonde. The blonde dodged all of their attacks swiftly. Naruto sensed someone on his back. He then dodged and slashed him with his Hugetsu Jigento. 9 left, Naruto mumbled as he looked at the auto nins. He saw 5 auto nins gave a nod at each other, and that means trouble. Naruto, knowing what's gonna happen, immediately made hand signs. "Futon, Daytoppa!" /wind style, great breakthrough. The 5 auto nins cried. "Futon, Kazegeshi!/wind style, wind return." Naruto retorted. "Kaden, Gurayuka no Jutsu!" /fire style, great dragon fire technique. 2 auto nin assisted them. Naruto's eyes widened. It's too late for him to dodge the attack. Meanwhile at Meguki and Orochimaru, "Futon, Shinku!" /wind style, bullet blades." Meguki cried, then dodged the incoming snakes with a blade on their mouths courtesy of Orochimaru summoning them from his. Meguki had a lot of cuts on the face and his body. Obviously his torso was half gone. Just like what happened to Pain's torso, Meguki disappeared into a blur and was behind Orochimaru. He was about to pierce him when suddenly Orochimaru promptly turned around and managed to stab Meguki on the stomach. Meguki immediately pulled back and put a hand on his bleeding stomach. "Meguki-kun, you really are predictable," Orochimaru smirked. "Shut up, Snake Princess!" Meguki retorted and disappeared into a blur again. He managed to cut Orochimaru into half, but you know what happens next. "You really are disgusting." You know, Meguki grimaced at what he saw. "If only you didn't deny my offer, you would never have to suffer the consequences," Orochimaru responded angrily. "Offer? Why should I accept your offer of experimenting our bodies for your own personal gain, huh?" Meguki responded in the same manner. "Die!" Orochimaru charged. "That's my line." Meguki also charged. Back to where Naruto was. "Did we get him?" The fire user auto nin questioned. "I'm not sure. His chakra disappeared again," meaning he disappeared again, the sensor auto nin answered. "That's impossible. No one had ever dodged that attack." One of the wind user auto nin retorted. "And what if I say I dodged that?" a voice answered behind them. It was the blonde brat. His left arm was burned. "Impossible." "Payback time." "Kaden, Shinhidora no Jutsu. Fire style, true Hydra technique," Naruto yelled, and then Naruto made another hand signs. "Suten, Mizurappa!" /water style, violent water wave. 2 auto nin cried, "Of course fire is weak in water, but they're in for a surprise." "Futon, Daytoppa!" /wind style, great breakthrough," Naruto yelled. The auto nins were shocked at the sudden technique. A fire plus wind is stronger than any rank of water technique. Most of the Auto-nins were engulfed by the flame. 3 left, Naruto said while panting. As he watched the 3 surviving Auto-nins shaking, there must be Genons, who knows? Naruto then released a great killing intent resulting for the survivors to faint. He then feels an intense pain on his left eye again and memories of his clones flashed his mind. They're safe, thank God. Naruto sighed heavily. Everything went blue again. Then he saw Meguki still fighting the long-haired guy. Naruto then stand up, he clutched his burned left arm and started running to the direction where Meguki and Orochimaru last seen. Back to Meguki and Orochimaru. Meguki was already on his knees, holding his bleeding left shoulder while Orochimaru looked unscathed but worn out inside. Ugh. Meguki tried to stand up but failed. He ended up hugging the ground. His body can't take any more damage and his chakra was already at its peak. He can only hope that his children were safe. Orochimaru was closing on him, a katana on his left hand. I guess in the end I'm the victor, huh? Meguki-kun. Orochimaru spoke in victory. You might be, but what will you achieve by killing me? Meguki smirked. Nothing. But I'm gonna make your body my vessel, Orochimaru responded, his tongue waving violently that it gives Meguki the creeps. Orochimaru pulled out a scroll and started to write something on the scroll when suddenly he feels someone going to their direction in an incredible speed. His here. Meguki smirked. Now Orochimaru was confused when suddenly a fist meets Orochimaru's face and was sent flying, crashing a lot of trees. Are you okay, Meguki-san? Naruto asked. That's my line, kid. Meguki chuckled and then his voice turned into a serious one when he saw what happened to Naruto's left arm. So what happened to your left arm? Got fried by the Auto-nins, Naruto retorted, chuckling. Jokes aside, who is that guy? Naruto asked. Orochimaru. Meguki spat Orochimaru's name like a venom. Orochimaru? You mean Orochimaru of the legendary Sannin? Yeah, also we need to get away here fast, he's coming. Then suddenly Orochimaru's head appeared from the ground, about to bite Naruto on the neck, but Naruto sensed it and immediately ducked. Naruto then sliced its neck with his Hugetsu Jigento. Not bad for a kid like you. Another Orochimaru appeared from the neck. And you're also the neglected son of the Yondaime, Orochimaru continued. Shut up. Naruto retorted, his left eye burning again furiously, and then suddenly Orochimaru started to disappear into flames. We will meet again, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Orochimaru said evilly, then disappeared into thin air. Well, that went well, Naruto spoke, breaking the silence. You think so? Meguki responded and turned serious again. So did you read the scroll I gave you? Yeah. What does it say? I don't know, the language is alien. So what do you feel? Naruto was about to answer but the stinging feeling of his left eye interrupted again. Ugh. Naruto fell to his knees, but Meguki just looked at him and smiled. I see, your left eye is already adapting. Why it stings again? He then put a hand on his left eye. What do you mean, Meguki-san? It means your left eye is upgraded. It's like a combination of the Byakugan and Sharingan. So you know about that scroll? Meguki nods. Then why give it to me? Naruto asked. He can't read his mind because of the intense pain. I told you already, right? It's because you're worthy. Meguki grinned at him. Naruto then suddenly feel dizzy again, then he hit the ground, unconscious. Meguki smiled. He then decided to carry Naruto on his back. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, you really are the true child of prophecy, Meguki mumbled, then walked toward the village direction. Check. A darker version of Naruto's voice spoke. Naruto's eyes twitched as he glared at the shogi board and his grinning opponent, his inner self. His inner self had a white hair and the tips of it are blue. His skin is whiter than Orochimaru's and the white on his eyes are black with its iris are blue at both eyes. Naruto moved his king piece to a safer place but his other self caught it in a check again. Hey! You have to do better than that, Goldilocks. His inner self smirked. The Kyuubi just shakes his head looking at the shogi board. Shut up, fish cake, Naruto retorted in a bored tone. He rolled a hand on his head and sighed. Troublesome. Naruto regretted reading the scroll but thankful at the same time. Because of the scroll he rescued the Vocaloids and because of that he had another soul living inside him. Flashback. Ugh, where am I? Naruto mumbled, his still dizzy because of the pain earlier. He scouted his surroundings and realized it was his mindscape. He then saw Kurama, his Otosan, sleeping with a bubble coming out from his nose. On his head was also a boy on the same age as him, sleeping, and was wearing a black jacket with the same style as his. He was confused. How could another person get inside his mindscape? He decided to take a closer look by going there. His eyes widened when he saw the person's face. The boy had the same face as him, but a paler version of him. He closed his eyes and ran a hand on his hair. When he opened his eyes, the boy disappeared and of course Naruto was surprised. He then feels something sharp touching his throat. Try to resist and I'm going to kill you, a dark voice spoke behind him. Naruto's eyes was covered by his bangs and he disappeared like he's not there. The boy smirked like he knows what's going to happen next. The boy turned around swiftly and pushed the dagger forward harshly only to stab the wind. The boy's eyes twitched a little, then he was pushed on the ground with a wrist on his neck and a flattened hand with all the fingers next to each other leaving no gaps between them. Hugetsu Giganto, pointing at his skull threateningly courtesy of Naruto. Tell me, who are you and how did you get here? Naruto spoke in a threatening voice. Hey! Do you have to ask that? The boy retorted and kneed Naruto, but Naruto dodged it by doing a front flip and resulting for the boy to break free from Naruto's grasp. What do you mean? Naruto asked after setting foot on the ground. Why don't you ask the furball over there, the boy replied, pointing at the now awake Kurama who had a big tick mark on the side of his forehead. That's why I hate having an inner self as a neighbor. I should have eaten him earlier, Kurama mumbled, but the two heard it and sweat dropped. Wait. What do you mean by having? Does my mother have one also? Naruto asked. All of the Jinchuriki had one. I'm the perfect example, the boy spoke grinning. This one is more troublesome than the other, Kurama sighed then continued. But this one is more unique than the others also. What do you mean by unique? Naruto asked. I'm the manifestation of the hatred that existed within your heart and a soul at the same time, the boy said. He became a soul because of that scroll you just read, Kurama retort. And if I have a chance to take over your body I will not hesitate to use the chance, the boy also spoke grinning psychopathically. Eh? Naruto was flabbergasted at what his other self said. That's why I hate them, Kurama spoke with his paw on his head. What do you mean by take over? Asked a shocked Naruto. What? You don't know what takeover means? I thought that you were smart, the boy replied with a mocking shock. He was then pulled by Naruto on the collar. Just get straight to the point, Naruto asked dangerously, his left eye burning again making him more intimidating. Your left eye, the boy pointed at his left eye grinning. What do you mean by my left eye? Do you know why it always sting? No. Then let me tell you this. If you overuse that there's a chance of you losing control of your mind, and you know what that means, the boy replied still grinning. And that means you're in control of my body and... Naruto didn't finish his sentence because the boy interrupted it with his own words. That means the party was about to start. The boy put his right hand on his own face covering it, leaving a gap on his eye and smiled evilly. I guess you're more evil than I thought, Naruto sighed and let go of the boy. Also, if you're in the brink of death there's also a possibility that I will come out. That means I really have to be careful, Naruto said, closing his left eye to disable the burning. You better be if you don't want to be removed at the king's sit. So, can I go back to the living world now? Naruto asked. No, the boy spoke plainly. What? Why? You can go, if you can beat me in shogi, the boy spoke grinning evilly, pulling a shogi board out of nowhere. What? Naruto yelled in disbelief. If you don't, then there's no Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze waking up in the real world, the boy said, smirking. Damn you. Okay then. Challenge accepted, Naruto spoke in frustration. The boy's smirk just gotten bigger. But what? If I win I'm gonna call you Bakuruto and you're not going to disturb me when I'm sleeping, Naruto spoke pointing angrily at the boy. Bakuruto? A nerve appeared at the boy's cheek. Fine. Bring it on, Goldilocks. Prepare to see hell, Bakuruto. I see, so this idiot here is infecting Naruto with his idiocy. Kurama shook his head in disbelief. Flashback end. Both of them were sweating bullets looking at the shogi board. Just a single mistake will be the end of the battle is what Naruto's thinking about now. Then an idea appeared on his mind making him smirk at the idea. What are you smirking at, Goldilocks? the boy asked with a lot of tick mark appearing on his face. Nothing, just nothing. Naruto smiled evilly that it would give goosebumps to the person he's smiling at. Naruto then moved his king piece to a dangerous position. The boy smirked. Are you going to give up now, Goldilocks? The boy said with fake concern on his voice. Yeah, my king is yours. The boy then moved the piece guarding his king. Just only 3 moves then the game ends with him being the victor. Naruto moved another piece leaving his king at the danger zone. The boy then moved his piece closer to the king, just 1 step and the game ends. His grin disappeared when he looked back to the shogi table, his king was caved in. Checkmate. Naruto moved his piece closer to the opponent's king. While he was about to say something but Naruto interrupted him. Surprised? You should have analyzed the battlefield more than just grinning there like an idiot. I'll lose? Wise, using your king as a decoy is a big risk, Kurama spoke. Yeah, in real life. The loss will be too much to take if that decoy fails, Naruto replied. It is then both of them look at the still broken boy watching the shogi table. I'm going to be called Bakuruto. No. This must be a nightmare. The boy yelled in despair. Demons also had nightmares? Naruto asked. Yup, Kurama replied. The boy was running around ranting about being called Bakuruto. Naruto and Kurama sweat dropped at his antics. Hey Bakuruto, I have to go now, the boy didn't reply. He just keep on running. Then Kurama spoke. You should probably change the name if you don't want someone yelling inside your head all the time, kid. You're probably right. Then Naruto put his left feet forward resulting for the boy to hug the ground. Hey, what the hell is that for, stupid Goldilocks? The boy spoke angrily. You don't want your name to be changed? Fine. Naruto started walking away, but the boy hugged his knees to prevent him from going. Naruto looked at the boy and smiled. Okay then, from now on your name is Fishcake. Fishcake? Yup. Kurama sweat dropped at Naruto's statement. Fishcake? What the hell? That's worse than the other one. The boy yelled with anime tears streaming down his face. I'm just kidding, okay? Naruto laughed, then continued. Naruto. You're fine with that, right? Naruto. Naruto smiled. Naruto? I like that, Naruto, the boy retorted, standing up. He then offered a hand to Naruto. Nice meeting you, Naruto. Naruto shook his hand with his own. Likewise, the boy now named Naruto replied. I'm off then. Naruto spoke after their handshake and walks away. Wait. Yup. Naruto turned back only for his lower chin to meet a fist and was sent flying. Revenge. The boy yelled and laughed maniacally. Curse you, Fishcake. And Naruto was kicked out on his own mindscape. Is that really necessary? Kurama asked. It is, Naruto replied, grinning like an idiot. Real world. Naruto-kun, Luka mumbled, looking at the sleeping form of Naruto. Will Naruni wake up now, Wani-chan? Asked a teary-eyed Ya. I don't know, Ya-chan. I don't know, Luka replied. The door was suddenly opened and a group consist of 3 people at the same age with them entered the room. Luka/Luka-san/Luka-chan, are you okay? The kids asked worriedly. Yeah, thanks for the concern, guys, Luka replied. Where's Uncle Meguki and Aunt Muka? A girl with blonde hair from the group asked. Otosan was still treated by the doctors and Okaa-san. She's in critical condition, Luka answered. Tears formed in her eyes as she talked about her mother. She explained that her mother barely survived the wound miraculously. It's all thanks to Tsunade's healing ability that she came back to life. I'm sorry, Luka-chan, the girl spoke, hugging the crying Luka. And who's that guy? A blue-haired boy asked while licking ice cream. Him? He's my friend and the one who saved us from being abducted by the Auto Nins. What? The people except for Luka and Ya yelled in disbelief. This guy saved you from 15 Auto Nins? You're kidding, right? A blonde-haired boy spoke, but Luka shook her head in a no manner. I didn't see him fight personally, but I read his mind and his left arm was burned because of saving us. She pointed at the fully bonded left arm of Naruto. We should probably read his mind too, the blonde-haired girl suggested, and they nodded except for Luka and Ya, who already read his mind earlier. They were all left flabbergasted at what they saw. That word enough can explain how they feel for the blonde-haired boy. The blonde-haired girl can't say a single word. Only tears can explain how she feel. I should have didn't read his mind, the blonde-haired boy spoke, looking away. The hell's wrong with them? The blue-haired boy snapped, his hands curled into fists, leaving his ice cream to fall in the ground. Kaido, they all look at him. How could they? Can't they know the difference of a jailer and a demon? And having a family like that? The blue-haired boy named Kaido was about to continue speaking, but a groan interrupted it. Where am I? And why is it so noisy? The blonde-haired boy on the bed groaned. Look, what did you do, Baika Ito? The blonde-haired girl scolded. What did I do? You wake him up, idiot. Did I? Of course you did. The girl sighed. Naruto-kun. Luka immediately hugged the blonde. Luka-san? Naruto returned the hug hesitantly. Thank you for saving us. Luka pulled away and smiled brightly at Naruto. I swear if she keeps smiling at me like that, I might lose my eyesight, Naruto thought to himself. Oh, that's a cute girl you picked up, bro. Is she going to be your girlfriend? Naruto teased. Shut up, Fishcake, Naruto retorted to his inner self. You should probably thank your dad. I found you guys all thanks to the scroll he gave me. Anyway, I'm sorry about your mom, Naruto spoke to Luka. Don't be, it's not your fault, Luka replied. If only I was fast enough, your mom would probably survive. Naruto looked down. Kacchan did survived. Huh? But she's in critical condition right now, Luka spoke. Her voice is low and tears started to form around her eyes again. Well, at least your mom had a chance of survival than having none, right? Let's just hope that your mom will pass the obstacle she's in right now. Naruto smiled at her. Yeah, thank you, Naruto-kun. Luka returned the smile. When she noticed the eyes of Naruto, she looked away, blushing. Did I say something wrong? Naruto thought to himself. Then he noticed the guys that entered earlier. If you don't mind me asking, did you just? He was cut off by a cheery voice coming from the now opened door. Hey guys. I brought foods for us to eat. A teal-haired girl exclaimed. She then put the basket on the table. I hope there's no leak, the blonde-haired boy exclaimed, scanning the inside of the basket. Guys, Naruto spoke, catching the attention of the group. Did you guys read my mind when I was still asleep? Naruto asked. The room's atmosphere changed into a heavy one because of that statement. We, the group except for Miku and Ya, who didn't speak, didn't finish their sentence because Naruto interrupted it with his own words. No, it's okay. But just this once, okay? Naruto smiled at them. The girls noticed his eyes, then blushed. The boys noticed the girls blushed and chuckled except for Naruto. That's what Naru-chan also told me when I read his mind for the first time when his sleeping, Miku exclaimed. So, Did you guys also know that I can read minds? Naruto asked again, but they all shook their head in a no manner. He also said that Miku beamed. Anyway, nice to meet you, Rin-san, Len-san and Kaido-san, Naruto bowed. Likewise, the three of them replied in unison. Anyway, what's your dad's condition, Luka-san? Ko-san was still taken care of by the doctors, Luka answered. Good. Naruto get out of the bed and look at the clock. He noticed that it was already 11:22 a.m. He decided to go home, but not before saying thank you to his new friends. I hope he's going to be okay. All of them had the same thought. Looking at the door, Naruto exited to Namikaze compound. Kushina was standing in front of Naruto's room door, anxious to know what's inside of his room and was to wake him up if he's still sleeping inside, but what she thought was wrong. And why did she stop in front of his door? It's because she was checking Menma's and Izami's room if it needs cleaning, but it's clean until she noticed a simple door with the name Naruto intact to the left of their room. Unlike Menma's and Izami's door, theirs are full of designs. Naruto, you should wake up now. Kushina knocked at the door but received no response. They always thought that Naruto was always sleeping or reading books inside his room every time he's inside. Naruto, it's already past 10 o'clock. You should probably get up. She knocked again but still no response. Having left no other choice, she turned the doorknob and was rewarded by the door's positive response. After she got inside, she was surprised at what she saw. The place is clean and books can be seen everywhere, but the place looks dull, plus the gray walls making the place's atmosphere more dull. The only thing that gives color to his room is only the different colors of the book. What made her more surprised is that Naruto's not in his bed, but a used blue scroll can be seen lying on his bed. She picked it up to know its contents, but only a piece of paper without a single letter was the only thing she saw. After scanning his room, she stopped on the table near his bed, looking at a picture frame. She picked it up and looked at it. She can see their happy faces except for the owner of this room. You can see Naruto a meter away from them with his expressionless face looking at them, while the four of them was so close at each other with big grins planted on their faces. Kushina felt her heart ache looking at the face Naruto was showing at the picture. She can't even remember his favorites and the last time she saw Naruto happy. Then realization hit her. She remembered when she saw Naruto yesterday when they were about to go to Ichiraku. Instead to invite him to go with them, they just pass him by like he's not even there in the first place. Just by thinking about what happened next after Naruto ran to his room made her more saddened. Tears started to form in her eyes and she immediately wiped it out. The main door was then heard open, so Kushina immediately go out in Naruto's room to check who it was and was surprised to see it's Naruto. She decided to greet him but was shocked at what she received. Naruto only looked at her with an expressionless face, and just by looking at his eyes feels like you're looking at a stranger's eyes. After Naruto looked at him, he continued walking to his room and was now on the stairs. Kushina then saw his left arm and gasped. Naruto, what happened to your arm? Kushina asked worriedly. Naruto stopped walking and looked at her, and again Kushina flinched at the stare. It's nothing, Naruto deadpanned, and of course Kushina was not convinced at his answer and decided to press the issue. You're lying, your left arm was probably burned. Who did and how did it happen? Naruto? Kushina asked with a worried voice again. If I told you the truth, would you believe me? Probably not, Naruto deadpanned, then started walking again. What do you mean, Naruto? Kushina was confused at what he just said. Father will maybe tell you about what happened, maybe if he's interested about what happened yesterday. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going inside now. Naruto then entered his room, leaving a dumbfounded Kushina. Minato, I need answers when you get here, Kushina said to herself. Hokage Tower. After 6 hours, Minato had just finished his battle with the most hated enemy of all cages, paperworks. He sighed and relaxed on his chair. He was really satisfied at his life right now and wished that things will stay like this forever. He saw his family picture at the side of his table and picked it up. Just by looking at their faces make him pull a satisfied smile on his face, but when he saw Naruto's face, his smile was replaced by a sad one. He realized about his actions towards Naruto when he heard about his son earlier. That he defeated 14 ninjas just to rescue the Vocaloids yesterday made him proud and feel guilt at the same time. His son became capable without their help at anything. He didn't even know if he even teach Naruto one thing about being a ninja. Just thinking at the pain and neglect he had to endure for his entire life made him feel more guilt about leaving him in the corner. As he kept on thinking, Naruto's voice saying "To-san, can you also train me?" echoed in his mind. Minato was now really angry at himself about his actions towards his son, and then he remembered something important. Tomorrow is their birthday. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to start teaching him about my techniques. Minato smiled to himself, just by thinking Naruto's happy reaction when he told him that. He was about to depart and go home when suddenly he heard a knock on the window courtesy of a long white-haired man. Minato, knowing who the man is, immediately opened the window and greeted the man, his former sensei. Jiraiya-sensei? What brings you here? Minato asked to his former sensei. Minato, I have something important to tell you, the man now named Jiraiya replied seriously. What is it, Jiraiya-sensei? Minato replied in the same manner as Jiraiya. The prophecy has changed. What? Streets of Konoha. Minato had a long face, thinking, while walking to his home instead of using his Hiraishin Flying Thunder God technique, to arrive at his home immediately because of the news he just received from his former sensei, Jiraiya. Flashback. What do you mean the prophecy has changed, Jiraiya-sensei? Asked a shocked Minato. If the prophecy has changed, then what's the purpose of the hard trainings they give to their children except for Naruto? The great Dode Sage summoned me yesterday while I was still very busy doing my research, Jiraiya said seriously. Research? Minato's sweat dropped at the mention of research. He knows that the research he's saying was involving peeking at naked women's in a bathhouse or hot spas. The great Dode Sage told me that a boy with burning left eye will be the one to bring peace to the world, but what? Minato was confused. The first prophecy said that a twin coming from two strong parents will be the one to bring peace, but now it's only a single person. Just what is going on? The boy's heart was being slowly eaten by the darkness around him. In other words, the boy was starting to hate the world. But why would he hate the world if he was the child of PR? Minato stopped talking when he realized the answer. The different forms of hatred, Jiraiya added. Minato, look at him. Are you going to say what I think you would probably say next? Minato asked. Yeah. He's also the one to deliver us the world's destruction if he's completely eaten by the darkness around him, Jiraiya commented. Minato was shocked. To make it harder to swallow, this child of prophecy they were talking about right now could be Menma, or Naruto. Wait, Naruto? Minato, I hate to say this, but the prophecy could be talking about your son, Naruto. Jiraiya spoke that only Minato can hear. But why? Realization hits Minato again. He almost forgot about the neglect they're giving to Naruto for his other children. Do you realize that Naruto is getting more distant to your family? Minato's eyes widened. Can you even name what he likes? What's his dislikes? Or who's his friends? No, right? I guess we were to focus at the twins that we even forgot to pay attention to your son, my godson. Jiraiya smiled sadly. Minato only looked down because of the guilt he feel right now. Also, because of that neglect, he became a boy that we can never imagine. Jiraiya's smile widened. Minato looked at him, confused at what his sensei means. What do you mean, Jiraiya-sensei? Minato looked at him with wide eyes. Don't tell me you didn't know that your son defeated 14 ninjas just to rescue 3 abducted Vocaloids alone? Asked a shocked Jiraiya. Of course I do know. Anyway, how did you know about that? Minato asked. He didn't expect that someone would leak the information about that. Rumors are like wildfires here in Konoha, remember, especially when it involves the demon fox that they hated the most, Jiraiya said, earning a glare from Minato. Sorry, Jiraiya apologized. It's okay, Minato said, looking at the village. Tomorrow could be worse than 5 years ago, Jiraiya continued, and again he was rewarded by a glare coming from Minato. I would never let it happen again. Minato snarled. Well, see, and again I'm sorry, Jiraiya answered apologetically. Minato just stared outside the window, then he felt a pat on his shoulder and turned his head. Don't worry, Minato. Well, fix it. Jiraiya smiled at him. I hope he would. Minato spoke sadly. Well, I think I should go now to continue my research, Jiraiya said seriously, and of course Minato's sweat dropped. Good luck with that, I guess, Minato replied. Thanks, Jiraiya then jumped outside the window. Minato then walked to the door, but before he can close it, Jiraiya appeared again. Minato also, I think I'm gonna stay here for a week, Jiraiya spoke. And why is that? Minato asked. Well, I think on having a break, I guess. Also, I'm going to teach your son, Naruto, something, Jiraiya answered. Thanks, sensei. Also, don't forget to come to our house tomorrow, Minato replied. Of course I won't. I'm off now. Jiraiya then disappeared. Then Minato locked the office and walked to his home. Flashback end. As Minato kept thinking about his son while walking in the streets, he suddenly heard someone talk about a demon fox. He stopped and listened for a while. Hey, did you hear the news about the demon fox? What news? You mean about the news that he defeated 14 ninjas? Yeah, we have to eliminate the demon before things get worse. Minato's eyes widened at this. Yeah. Tomorrow should be a perfect time to kill the demon. I agree with you. It all started in October 10th and it will end in October 10th. Minato had enough of it and decided to stop what they're going to do before it's too late. Minato then go to the crowd and pulled the person that announced to kill his son in the collar and snarled at him. Don't you ever lay a finger on my son, Minato said in front of the guy's face, threateningly. Then he heard someone whispering to each other. Is Hokage-sama under control of the demon? A guy whispered to the nearest person. Maybe. After we kill the demon brat we will know. Minato heard it, then let go of the person he just pulled and spoke threateningly. If I ever know that someone tried to threaten my son's life, I'll send you to a Viki Morino of Konoha torture and interrogation force and make you wish that you were never born, Minato said, then continued walking to his home with his hands clenched into fists. He can still hear the villagers whispering about his actions and about assassinating Naruto, making him more angry, but just continue walking. "Don't worry Naruto, I'll protect you this time," Minato said to himself. Namikaze compound. "I'm home," Minato announced as he entered the house. He saw Kushina sitting on a sofa in the living room, crying while looking at a book, a photo album. Minato then walked to her direction and sits beside her, but it looks like she's too busy looking at the book to notice someone sits beside her. "Why are you crying, Kushina-chan?" Minato asked worriedly. Kushina was startled at the sudden voice and turned her head to where the voice came from and saw Minato smiling sadly at the book she held in her hand. I was just looking at the pictures when Naruto's still a kid," Kushina replied in a sad voice. "Yeah, but it's few. Most of it were Menma's and Izami's," Minato also replied. "Minato, I need answers." "Answers? About what?" "About what happened to Naruto's left arm," Kushina said angrily. "His home? Well, I have something important to tell you, Kushina-chan," Minato announced seriously. "What is it, Minato?" Kushina asked. "The prophecy has changed and it involves Naruto," Minato replied seriously, and Kushina's eyes widened. "What do you mean the prophecy has changed, and what do you mean it involves Naruto, Minato?" Kushina asked, anxious to know what he means. Minato told Kushina about the changes of the prophecy and about the boy with burning left eye, who was about to engulfed by the darkness. He also told her about how it involves Naruto, and of course Kushina, realizing their mistake, fell to her knees and wept more. "I'm sorry, Sochi-kun. I'm sorry," Kushina wept. "It's okay Kushina-chan, we can still fix it." Minato tried to calm her by putting her head in his chest. I hope he will forgive us. If he won't, I will never forgive myself," Kushina said between tears. "He will, Kushina-chan, and if he won't, let's just give him time to forgive us." Minato smiled at her. "Also, I'm returning what's rightfully his," Minato continued. "What do you mean, Minato?" Kushina asked, then she realized what he meant and smiles at him. "I guess we were too busy at the twins to realize we still had another child." Kushina just smiled. Then a growl coming from their stomach was heard in the room and both of them looked at each other then chuckled. Minato spoke awkwardly, then Kushina interrupted. "Don't worry, I already cooked dinner." A voice like Kushina spoke in the kitchen. "Eh? You're using a clone to cook dinner? You said no using a clone when doing our own personal chores." Minato cried, anime tears. Just this once, Minato-kun." Kushina smiled playfully at him and Minato sighed in defeat. "So did the kids come home already?" Minato asked his wife, but suddenly the door was opened. "We're home." A boy and a girl's voice was heard in the main door and Minato greeted them. "So how's your day, son?" Minato asked to his son. "Menma." "Great," Menma answered, hugging Minato. "How about yours, Izami?" "Same," Izami replied, also hugging Minato. "Everyone, dinner's ready," Kushina announced from the dining room. They all gathered at the dining room and started digging at their own food. Then Minato noticed someone's missing and realized it was Naruto. We forgot about him again." Minato put a hand on his face. Kushina saw this and sighed. "You mean Oni-chan?" "Don't worry, I'm gonna call him," Izami said. "No need, I'm already here." A familiar voice spoke and they all turned their heads at the voice and saw Naruto sitting on his chair. "Is he a ghost?" All of the people in the room thought, then continued eating their own food. Then Minato saw something weird. Naruto's left eye was back to its blue color while his right stays red. Naruto, when did your left eye turn blue again?" Minato asked. Naruto stopped eating to drink water, then answered Minato. "I don't know, I just found out yesterday." Naruto lied, and of course they believed it except for Minato and Kushina. "Whatever you're hiding, Naruto, I respect it," both Minato and Kushina thought. They know that it's a lie, but they respect it just because they realized about their actions to me. Too late, Naruto thought to himself. "Now that's what I like to hear," Naruto said evilly. "Shut up. You're not helping," Naruto retorted to his inner self. "Don't let your anger consume you," Kid Kurama spoke. "I know, Oto-san, I know." After Naruto finished eating, he picked his own dish and decided to wash it, but before he can wash it, Kushina interrupted with her words. "Just leave it there, Naruto." Kushina smiled at him, but Naruto only rolled his eyes and washed it, making Kushina look down. Then Minato held her hands and gave her a smile, saying, "We're gonna fix it." Then Kushina nods. Naruto saw this and only frowned. "It's not gonna be easy, father, mother." Naruto then left to his room. After they finished eating, the kids entered their own rooms, leaving Kushina washing the dishes while weeping and Minato looking at her wife with sad eyes. Naruto's mindscape. Naruto was lying at the grass with both of his hands on his head as a substitute for a pillow while looking at dark sky full of twinkling stars in his mindscape. He was thinking really deep right now if he would forgive his parents or not. Then suddenly Kurama's voice cut his train of thoughts. "Hey, kid, you feeling alright?" Kurama asked worriedly. "I don't know, Oto-san," Naruto replied weakly. "Are you thinking about whether to forgive them or not?" Kurama asked and Naruto nods. "I don't really know how to answer them, Oto-san. After all what happened to me, Naruto spoke weakly. If I were you, I'll let them lick my dirty shoes first before I forgive them. Naruto butted in, only to be hit in the head by Kurama. You're not helping, you know. Geez, inner selves really are troublesome, Kurama sighed, but it's the better way to make them feel your pain. Naruto yelled and was pummeled by Kurama's paw to shut him up. Just listen to what your heart says, kid, and you'll know the answer. Kurama smiled and pats Naruto with his tail. Thanks, Otosan. Naruto returned the smile. Sleep now, kid. Don't worry, I'll sing you a lullaby, Kurama joked, and Naruto paled instantly. He can still remember the first time he heard Kurama sing him a lullaby. It made him his worst nightmare. Please don't, I can sleep on my own, Naruto replied, shivering that it makes Kurama laugh. Well then, good night, kid. You too, Otosan. Then Naruto goes to sleep. After that night, Kosan, Kachan, wake up. A girl's voice can be heard in the Namikaze couple's room. Just a minute. Azami Haim. Minato moaned and got punched in the head courtesy of Kushina. Ate, why did you hit me? Minato rubbed the spot that was punched in his head. So that you would come to your senses. Kushina tightened her fist. Kosan, Kachan, do you know what day is it today? Azami asked with stars in her eyes. Minato and Kushina looked at each other for a while, then smiled. Happy birthday, Azami-chan, the couple both said in unison, then hugged their daughter. Thank you, Kosan, Kachan. After the trio left the room, Kushina then started making breakfast while Minato was reading a newspaper in the living room and Azami watching TV. So Azami-chan, is your brothers awake yet? No, Azami replied with her eyes glued on the TV. Good morning, Menma said in a sleepy voice while walking down the stairs. But he is right now, Azami continued. Good morning, Menma-kun, and happy birthday. Minato greeted Menma with a smile. Thank you, Otosan. Menma returned the favor. As Menma arrived at the kitchen, he was hugged and greeted by Kushina. After Kushina had finished cooking, she then put the dishes on the table with Menma's help. Everyone, breakfast is ready, Kushina announced, and they all gathered at the dining room except for one guy who's still in his room. Minato sighed and asked Azami to go wake up Naruto. As Azami was about to knock, the door was opened in the other side, revealing Naruto. Azami can't stop her hand, so it hits Naruto's face. Happy birthday too, Azami. Naruto spoke and smiled sarcastically, making Azami's eye to twitch. Then all of them was gathered at dining room. After eating their breakfast, the kids was now on their way to the academy, with Minato joining them in case of something bad happens to his son, Naruto. Naruto put his hoodie on and was 2 meters away from the three. He can feel the daggers coming from the villagers' eyes, but Naruto just didn't care. He just continued walking. Minato noticed it and glared at the villagers, making them flinch. After a couple of minutes of walking, they arrived at the academy and Naruto saw two familiar blonde that also saw and greeted him. Good morning, Naruto-san. The twins greeted Naruto in unison. Good morning too, Rin-san. Len-san. Naruto bowed. He noticed that someone's missing and decided to speak his thoughts. If you don't mind me asking, where's Luka-san, Miku-san and Kaido-san? Well, Kaido is always a tardy person and Miku-chan and Luka-chan is in rehabilitation for a week because of the trauma they just experienced, Rin answered. Don't worry bro, just wait for a single week and then you can go lovey-dovey with her again, Len teased, making Naruto blushed. I don't like her like that, okay, Naruto stuttered. Eh? So did her kiss means nothing to you? Shut up. Ha ha ha. You're really easy to tease bro, Len laughed. Says for a person who wears her twin sister's underwear. Naruto returned the favor. What did you say? Len replied angrily. I wanna wear my Nei-chan's Bansu, Naruto said in a zing-zong tone, then runs. Come back here, Len yelled. Rin only looked at the scene, amused at how those two interact. Also, she was happy that Naruto experienced being a kid again. Hey, sorry, I'm a blue-haired boy with a blue scarf said, but didn't finish his sentence because Len bumps at him, making his ice cream fall to the ground. Len realized who the guy he bumped into and paled Naruto because of his mind-reading ability. He knows about their history, and Rin also saw the scene and paled. They know that when you go between Kaido and his ice cream, something really nasty will happen. My ice cream, Kaido spoke shakily and his eyes were darkened. I'm sorry, Kaido. Len apologized and said I'm sorry a lot of times. Why you, buy me another ice cream, Kaido cried loudly and pummeled Len. He cried. Naruto and Rin deadpanned and Rin decided to go to a convenience store to buy some ice cream for Kaido. Minato saw the scene and smiled at how his son interacts with the Vocaloids. He's also confused how his son and the Vocaloids became good friends, but it's not his business, so he decided to let it be and walks to the Hokage office. After Rin go to the convenience store and returned with a lot of ice cream to make Kaido stop crying, they greeted Naruto happy birthday, making Naruto blushed. Guys, thank you, Naruto bowed again, still blushing. Don't mention it, Naruto-san. Rin smiled at him brightly. There goes the sun-like smile again, Naruto thought to himself. Well, that's a start, Naruto teased. Shut up, fish cake. You're not helping, Naruto retort to his inner self. Whatever you say, Goldilocks. After they go to their respective classrooms, I don't know if they have different classrooms in the original Naruto series, but there will be here. Everything's possible in a fanfic, right? Except for the Vocaloid trio. Naruto was sitting at the last row of tables near the window, just only him sitting there, and he likes it. The room was so noisy because of those stupid fangirls, her sister included, at the stupid group, and the boys that crowded Menma listening at his stupid boastings. Naruto just sighed at how noisy the room is. If only his classmates were just lazy Naras, quiet Hyugas and brooding Uchihas. The Uchiha massacre didn't happen here in my fanfic. After all, everything's possible in a fanfic, right? That would be better. Naruto looked at the clouds outside the window to kill time when suddenly someone put his foot on his table. Naruto looked to who is it and saw a very stupid looking kid. "Hey demon!" The kid yelled in front of Naruto, but Naruto rolled his eyes and continued looking at the sky. "My mom said that you're going to die today, so before you die I want you to taste something." The boy pulled Naruto's collar and punched him, but before he can punch Naruto in the face everything went blur, and the last thing he knew he was glued on the ceiling. Help me!" The boy cried, but the children on the room just looked at him and laughed, except for the Hinata, Neji, Shikamaru, Sasuke, Shino, and Rock Lee. "That's lame, bro." Kiba laughed with the others. "D-Demon, put me down," the boy cried to Naruto. Naruto sighed and clicked his fingers, then the boy falls. Making things worse, the boy fell to their teacher, Iruka Umino, who just entered the room. The room fell silent that only Erika's angry growl can be heard. Who did it?" Iruka asked angrily with his big head jutsu, making all the people on the room sweat dropped. Then all of the students pointed at the now empty seat of Naruto. This gave all the students goosebumps except for the Uzumaki Namikaze twins. Iruka just sighed. Every time when Naruto caused mischief just to defend himself, he would disappear like he's not there in the first place. He also knows about Naruto's suffering and neglect. He even tried to cheer up Naruto when he was 8 but failed. Naruto only ran away, leaving him broken-hearted for the boy. "Naruto, please come out now," Iruka said to Naruto, if he's still there. High and emotionless voice echoed at the whole classroom, making those weak-willed shiver in fear, and then Naruto appeared in the chair he was sitting before like nothing ever happened. "Anyway, we had 3 new students coming from the Vocaloid clan," Iruka announced. The children hearing the news whispered to each other and was making assumptions how the transfers look like. Naruto only smirked, knowing who the 3 students are. "Students, please welcome your new classmates," the Vocaloids, Iruka announced, inviting the transfer students to show themselves to the class. As the Vocaloids entered the room, most of the girls had hearts on their eyes when they saw the blonde-haired boy and the blue-haired boy, making both of the boys shiver. The same can also be said at the boys except for Naruto, Sasuke and Shikamaru when they saw the blonde-haired girl go inside. "You can introduce yourselves to your classmates if you want to," Iruka told the Vocaloid, and they nod. "Hi everyone, my name is Rin Kagamine Vocaloid. Nice to meet you." Rin smiled brightly to the crowd, making most of the boys cover their eyes with their hands. "Hello, my name is Len Kagamine Vocaloid. Pleased to meet you." Len waved. "My name is Kaido Shien Vocaloid. Nice meeting you." Kaido bowed. "Okay then, go sit in the place you want to sit," Iruka told the 3. While the 3 search for a place to sit, most of the girls keep yelling to Rin/Kaido-kun, "Sit next to me." The same can also be said to the boys. After a minute of searching where to sit, Rin and Len was seated next to Naruto while Kaido was seated next to Shikamaru and Choji. "Hey!" Rin smiled, making Naruto look at her. "Hey!" Naruto replied, rolling his eyes back to the sky. After a couple hours of suffering from a boring class, according to Naruto, they were now dismissed, earlier than the normal class dismissal because of a special celebration. Naruto exited the building to go to his secret favorite spot, but someone called him. He turned back and saw the Vocaloid trio. What do you want?" Naruto asked them. We want to hang out with you if it's okay?" Rin answered. "What's your opinion, Otosan?" Naruto asked to his Otosan. "What's your opinion?" Kurama replied. "Okay, if you want to, okay, but let me tell you this. I'm a boring person." Naruto smiled at them. "We know, that's why we will hang out with you to make your day fun." Len smiled. Azami heard this and decided to interfere. "Can I go with you guys?" Azami asked the group with a smile. The Vocaloids exchanged glances first and sighed. "Okay then," Rin replied, trying to keep her calm in front of Azami. "Great. Menma, you want to go with us?" Azami asked his brother, who was busy talking with his friends. Menma was about to deny, then he saw Rin and smiled. "Sure," Menma replied, smiling at Rin, who just rolled her eyes. "What about we invite the others so that it will be more fun?" Azami suggested. Your choice," Kaido stuttered. Great. Azami walked to her friends and invited them. The trio was about to leave sneakily with Naruto, but Naruto is nowhere to be seen. The trio only sighed. "I'm sorry, Naruto-san," the trio thought. Instead of going to his favorite spot, Naruto decided to visit Luca's father, Meguki, to ask some answers about the scroll he received from him. He would have been kicked out right now if he's not using his eyes by the nurses. After a minute of searching for Meguki's room he found it and knocked. The door was opened just a little, revealing Ya. Who are you? Asked Ya nervously. She didn't know that it's Naruto because of his hoodie. Naruto, having no option, removed his hoodie. It's me, Naruto. Is your dad awake? Naruto asked to the now calm Ya. Yup. Come in. Ya opened the door wider so that Naruto can enter. After Naruto entered the room, he saw Meguki reading a book while lying in the bed. Oh. Naruto-san, what brings you here? Meguki saw Naruto and smiled at him. Well, did you meet your inner self? Meguki interrupted. Yeah, I guess you already know my questions. Naruto pulled a chair for him to sit and puts it beside Meguki's bed. Let me tell you the truth why I gave you the scroll, Meguki said seriously, earning Naruto's whole attention to him. Just from the first glance I saw you, I believe that you are the true child of prophecy. So Meguki didn't finish when Naruto said something expected for a child who had experienced like him. So you gave me the scroll because I'm the true child of prophecy. And what if you didn't think that I'm the child of prophecy? I believe you wouldn't let me stay in your house and would have already kicked me in the face knowing I'm a demon reincarnate. Naruto spoke. A slight anger was mixed in his voice. He was surprised when Meguki smiled. I guess you were blinded by the hate you bottled up inside your heart to think that all of the people were the same, right? Naruto-san. Meguki patted Naruto's head, making Naruto's eyes widen the sudden contact. If you think that when the first time I saw you that night, even if you're not the true child of prophecy, I would kick you and shout in your face? No. I would still let you stay at my house because I know that after all of that suffering you still keep a golden heart hidden inside of you. Naruto's eyes widened more. I gave you that scroll because I believe that you wouldn't let power cover your sight. I believe that you wouldn't fall to your inner self's ideas. After all, you're not the demon reincarnate, right? You are Naruto and no one can change that. Tears started to fall from Naruto's eyes. It's the first time he heard a person say that to him. And I also know that the demon they think is not a demon, but a loving father that cares for his son greatly. Meguki grinned at Naruto. Thank you, Meguki-san. Thanks. You. Naruto bowed with the best he can, making Meguki's grin wider. Ya also hugged the weeping Naruto to calm him. Happy birthday, Naruto-san. Vocaloid compound, 2 hours after the hospital scene. What? Two voices echoed at Hatsune Vocaloid household. It's true, Len answered the two. Luca and Miku can't believe that the villagers are really blinded by their hatred to the QB that they even want to end its jailer's life today. But how did you know? Miku asked. Well, after half an hour of pretending to be happy in front of the two siblings of Naruto-san, we finally got tired of pretending to be happy with them, so we left a clone for them to play hide and seek without them knowing that it's a clone, Kaido said. Meanwhile at the Uzumaki Namikaze Twins. Menma-ni, did you saw Kaido-kun? Azami asked, still searching for the Vocaloid trio. Why ask me? You're the seeker, not me, Menma retorted while sleeping under a tree. Menma-ni, so mean. Azami pout. Then she saw a blue scarf stuck in a bush and Azami recognized whose scarf is it and smiled. Gotcha. Kaido-kun. Azami dived in the bush and caught Kaido. Eh? Kaido was surprised. Moo, you're so cute, Kaido-kun. Azami giggled, pulling the left cheek of Kaido, but was surprised when it puffed into smoke. Eh? Azami screeched. So you're searching for a clone all the time? How stupid, Menma spoke. Eh? If you know it's a clone you should have told me, Azami pouts. If I told you, the game would be boring, Menma lied, but Azami saw through it then smirked. Nay, you're lying, right? Azami teased. Not. Menma tried to evade the wave but was still caught. Then why are you stuttering? I'm not stuttering, Menma yelled. Of course you're not. Should I tell Rin-san that you had a crush on her? Azami teased then started running. Hey, come back here. Menma then chased her, but Azami just realized that the one they're playing with is my clone. Kaido shivered at what his clone experienced, making the group laugh. I should probably cancel mines, yours too, Len pointed at Rin. Okay. Anyway, back to the topic. After we left our clone to play with him, we tried searching for Naruto. Then we stumbled upon a crowd talking about killing a demon, and of course, being an inquisitive people like us, we read their minds and found out they're going to end Naruto's life tonight, Kaido continued, making Luca and Miku's eyes widened. Did you try to search him in his favorite spots? Asked Luca. The trio shook their head in a negative manner. Then we have to check those places. There's a huge possibility that we meet him there, Luca said, about to walk to the main door, but Len stopped her. Do you really think he doesn't know about their plan? Remember, he also had mind-reading ability like us, Len said seriously. But Luca didn't continue what she's about to say because Len interrupted her. He needs us right now? I know that, Luca, but you can't just get out of here, especially while you're still in rehabilitation, Len retorted. Luca just looked down as tears started to form in her eyes. Don't worry, Luca, we will protect him, Len smiled. Thank you, Len-kun. Luca wiped the water away from her eyes and smiled back. You could say that again. If we survive tonight, Len shivered. Anyway, we should probably look for him now before the sun sleeps, Kaido spoke. Okay, We should probably split up to find him more faster. We will communicate via our headphones. Okay, Rin said as a headphone, her headphone in her Vocaloid outfit, materialized on her hand. Got it. A headphone also materialized on Len and Kaido's hand, and they exited the house to find Naruto. We're off now, Luka-chan. Miku-chan. Rin waved at them before exiting the house. Naruto-kun/Naru-chan. Please be okay. Both Luka and Miku taught. Somewhere near a lake. Please insert. Pachelbel Cannon. Sunga. Young Naruto was sitting under a tree while playing Pachelbel Cannon in his guitar that Meguki gave him as a birthday gift. He already knows how to play guitar. After all, it's one of the things that will calm him when he's down. He even had his personal guitar below his bed since he don't want someone to see it. He was smiling while playing, then he sensed someone was watching him, so he immediately stopped. Stop music. He put his guitar down on the grassy ground first and closed his eyes, then he disappeared. In a bush nearby, a certain blonde-haired girl frowned when Naruto stopped and disappeared, so she came out on her hiding spot and picked his guitar. She tried to play with it when suddenly someone poked her side. Eep. The blonde-haired girl yelped and immediately turned around to see who's poking her and found out it's Naruto with his emotionless face. She eeped again when she saw him. Are you a ghost? The blonde-haired girl yelled. No, what are you doing here anyway, Rin-san? Naruto asked to the girl now named Rin. We've been looking for you this whole time, Naruto-san, Rin said worriedly. Why is that? Naruto asked. Because there are some villagers plotting to kill me? I know about that, Naruto interrupted. You know that this always happened to me, right? Especially today, 10th of October. Rin nods her head. And you know I survive situations like this, right? Rin nods her head again. Then why bother? You're just making yourselves tired just to tell me about that? I know you want to help me, but please, I can handle myself alone. Naruto finished, making Rin left flabbergasted. Rin was about to read his mind but was surprised when she can read nothing. Not even a single word was seen, just an endless pit of darkness. Please don't try to read my mind. You can only see nothing. It's because of my Ochuo-san and my inner self's barrier. Inner self and your Oto-san's barrier. Wait. You mean your Oto-san put a barrier inside your mind? Rin asked. Not my biological Oto-san. My Oto-san that the villagers saw as a demon. Naruto clenched his fist when he said the demon part. What? You saw the Kyuubi as a father figure for you? Rin asked. Yeah, what's wrong with that? After all, he is not a true demon, Naruto replied. But, wait, let me say something first. Oto-san or the Kyuubi only covered some important part on my mind, but my stupid inner self covered all of it just yesterday so that no one can read what I'm thinking. I didn't go with his ideas, but I can't stop him, so that's why any Vocaloids or Yamanakas can't read or get inside my mind, but Meguki-san is an exception. I don't know how he managed to look through the barrier. Naruto bowed his head to show how sorry he was. Hey, I'm not stupid, Yaruto yelled on Naruto's mind. Whatever you say, fish cake, Naruto retorted to his inner self. No, it's okay, Naruto-san. Rin smiled at Naruto. I'm really sorry anyway. Care to listen about my whole story? Naruto asked, smiling. Oh my Kami-sama. That smile plus his eyes. I think I met an angel, Rin thought, stuck on a daze. Unbeknown to her, blood was going out on her nose. Rin-san, are you okay? Naruto asked, pulling her out in her daze and offering a red-orange handkerchief to her. Okay, Naruto-san, Rin replied, stuttering. She still didn't know about the blood on her nose. What about your nose? Naruto asked again. She's cute, but I prefer pink and teal, Yaruto spoke teasingly. Bro, can you please say something helpful for once? Naruto retorted to his inner self. Oh sure, 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4, 4 + 4 = 8, 8 + 8 =. That's really helpful, Fishcake. Thank you very much, Naruto said sarcastically in his mind. Welcome. Rin wiped her nose with her white sleeve and found blood on it. She was about to wipe it to her nose again, but Naruto stopped her and wiped her nose with his red-orange handkerchief. After Naruto removed his handkerchief on her face, he saw her face as red as a tomato. I'm sorry, Rin apologized while her face was blushing furiously. Don't mention it, Naruto replied, looking away. Anyway, do you still want to hear about my story? Naruto asked again, and Rin nods her head. But before that, I need you to call Len-san and Kaido-san to come here so that the three of you can learn something that you don't know about me. Naruto smiled again, making Rin blush again, who just nods her head. Guys, I found Naruto-san and he wants us to gather in his favorite spot in a lake because he wants to say something to us. Directly, Rin spoke in a microphone that just materialized on her headphone. Okay, me and Kaido should be there in 10 minutes or more, so please be patient. Len's voice can be heard on Rin's headphone. Good, then the microphone disappeared on her headphone. They should be here in 10 minutes or more, Rin said as she sits on the grassy ground and her back relaxing on the tree. Naruto nods at what she said and also did the same thing. After that, the two didn't bother talking to each other, making the atmosphere awkward. Only the chirping birds, leaves and grass rustling was the only noise accompanying them. Naruto also didn't bother playing the guitar, he just only hugged his guitar like it's a stuffed toy, making him look cuter according to Rin, who just keeps stealing glances at him. After 2 minutes of waiting, Rin had enough at how quiet the atmosphere is and decided to ask Naruto something. And Naruto-san, see, can I ask something? Rin asked while blushing. Sure, what is it? Naruto asked, even if he already knows what she was about to ask. See, can you play the song that you played earlier with your guitar? If you don't mind, Rin answered. If you'd like to, sure. Naruto smiled at her. Please insert Pokebell Cannon, Sung-ga-young. Again, Naruto started playing his guitar, producing a soothing melody to listen. If you pay close attention to the surroundings, you can see the grass and the leaves of trees in harmony with the music. Also, the breeze of the wind is getting cooler. While Naruto was playing his guitar, you can see Rin looking at Naruto dreamily. After a couple of minutes of waiting, the boys arrived, but when they saw Naruto and Rin looks like they're on a date, they immediately hide in a bush. Those two looks like they're on a date, and that music, oh, that music is making the atmosphere romantic, Kaido said, licking an ice cream. You could say that. By the way, where did you get that ice cream? Len asked with a sweat on the side of his head. I dropped in a convenience store to buy snacks because I feel like Naruto was about to tell us something very long, Kaido replied, showing a cellophane full of snacks, ice cream included. Cool, I guess. Len looked back to the two. We should probably show ourselves. Kaido was about to stand up, but Len stopped him. Hey, what are you doing? We should probably just leave them be since they're on a date. Len put a finger on his mouth, telling him to keep quiet. Why? They're not on a real date, right? Kaido asked. Can't you see? Look at my twin sister, then read her mind. You would probably know why I don't want you to disturb them. Len chuckled. Kaido did what he said and also chuckled. PFFFT. She's in a daze, Kaido said, trying to hold back a loud laugh. Told you, Len replied, then laughed. A laugh that they can't hear. Kaido also did the same. While the two are laughing, Naruto saw the bush they're hiding in ruffling furiously. He stopped playing his guitar and spoke. If someone's there, you can come out now, Naruto exclaimed. Crap. He found us. Len stopped laughing and whispered to the still laughing Kaido. Ito, stop laughing or I'm gonna kick you, Len whispered again, dangerously making Kaido gulp. Sorry, we should probably say that we've just arrived yet, Kaido replied, wiping a tear away from his eyes. Like that would work to them since they can read minds, but, never mind, trying won't hurt, right? Len said, and stand up. Maybe not. Sorry if we're late, Len exclaimed, rubbing the back of his head and smiling sheepishly. Naruto knows it's a lie, but just go with it. I also bought snacks since I had a feeling that what Naruto-san about to tell us will be really a long one, Kaido said in his usual tone, like what happened earlier didn't happen, making Naruto's sweat dropped. Your feeling is accurately correct, but I'm not gonna tell you by talking but by a few ninjutsu, Naruto exclaimed, making them look at him with confused face. But you told me earlier that you would tell us by talking, Rin spoke, earning their attention to her. I did. But my Oto-san told me something useful while I was playing the guitar. Your Oto-san? Len and Kaido asked in unison. Not my biological Oto-san. You'll know after I give you something. After Naruto spoke, he proceeded to remove the bandages at his left hand. The spectators' eyes widened when they saw the scorched scar. They know that Naruto's left arm was burned because of the Otonins he fought, but they were surprised when it's already healed, only scars left since the burn was really bad when they first saw it. He also pulled a glass out of nowhere and his right hand was flattened with all the fingers next to each other, leaving no gaps between them. Naruto was about to wound it, but he stopped when he saw the curious faces of the trio. I prefer you guys to look away because what I'm gonna do would be pretty painful to watch, I think Naruto told them, but they just shook their head in a no manner and their faces saying we can manage. Okay then. Don't panic, okay, Naruto exclaimed, then proceeded to what's he's going to do. What is he going to do? The trio thought, then their question was answered by a blood coming from Naruto's left hand's palm, filling the glass in half. What are you doing? Rin asked worriedly, but was replied by a smile courtesy of Naruto. I told you it would be pretty painful, right? Naruto then pulled a pen brush and chakra papers on his pocket. Is he going to use his blood as an ink? The trio thought again, and what they thought is correct. They watched Naruto draw something in the chakra papers with his blood at a fast speed. The spectators were surprised at how fast Naruto wrote without any mistakes, and his handwriting was great. After Naruto has done making, he then put the chakra papers that was already written on their forehead and asked if they're ready. This is my first time doing it, so I don't know what's going to be the problems on it, so I'm sorry if it might cause some nasty after effects, Naruto apologized. Don't worry, we'll manage. Len smiled and Kaido and Rin nodded at it. Okay then. Naruto then started making hand signs at a fast speed. Release. Naruto spoke in a low voice, then a blue light enveloped the chakra papers that was on the foreheads of the trio. After that the three lost consciousness. I hope there's no harmful after effects after they wake up, Naruto thought, looking at the trio worriedly. Don't worry, Kit. Also, Since when did you had an error when making seals like that? Kurama grinned, making Naruto smile back. Yeah, but it's better to tell them first before the unexpected happens, Naruto replied. You're right. Naruto then moved the trio in a comfortable place under the tree, and to make sure nothing's wrong, he read their minds, and as expected they were having a dream about his history. While waiting for them to wake up, Naruto put his headphone to listen to a song. I recommend you to listen Lan's cover of Double Lariat, and Hetri to improvise the seal he just made for future use and succeeded while listening to the song playing in his headphone. After half a minute of waiting and improvising the seal he made in a lot of ways, he noticed that Rin was waking up and her eyes was full of tears. Oh, Rin-san, you're awake, Naruto spoke, earning Rin's attention. And Naruto-san? What is it? Before Naruto could finish his sentence he was intensely hugged by Rin. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, Rin cried, unbeknown to her that Naruto was struggling for air. Rin-san. I can't breath. Eh? Oh, I'm sorry. Rin pulled away from Naruto. Never mind about that. So, how do you feel? Naruto asked. I can't really explain. All I want to do right now is to hug you. Rin replied, blushing. Eh? If that's what you want, then I'm fine with it, Naruto smiled. Rin then hugged Naruto again in a more gentler way and cried in his chest. Hey, a familiar voice spoke behind the two. Naruto, knowing whose voices it, turned his head to where the voice came from. What Naruto saw surprised him. Two-fist and a bro-fist gesture was in front of him. What we've seen made us respect you more, Naruto-san. Kaido spoke with tears flowing down from his eyes. And starting from now on, you'll be our best friend and we will never leave your side. Len also spoke with tears flowing down from his eyes. Naruto smiled at what he saw and bumped his fist on both of their fists. Thanks guys. Namikaze compound. We're home, Azami announced while Menma, walking like a zombie, was trailing behind her. Oh, Azami-chan. Menma-kun, how's your day? And where's your brother? Kushina asked the two. The twins look at each other for a while. We didn't see him after the class has ended, so we don't have an idea where Zonai-chan right, not Azami answered with fake worried voice. I see, Menma-kun, can you please kindly look for your brother? Kushina asked, making Menma frown. But Ka-chan, I'm tired, Menma excused. Kushina just sighed, then asked Itachi, who was busy entertaining Sasuke on the living room, to look for Naruto. Of course, Aunt Kushina. Itachi spoke in an emotionless voice. Thanks, Itachi. Then Itachi disappeared into a puff of smoke. Also Kushina returned to what she's doing before in the kitchen. Hey Kushina, Mikado started to start a conversation. What is it, Mikado? Do you know things that interested Naruto? Mikado asked. Kushina froze for a while at what she said. She even forgot to buy a gift for Naruto while she's shopping for gifts for Azami and Menma. Also, she don't know a single thing about what Naruto likes. Honestly speaking, I don't know even a single thing about my son. Can you believe that? A mother who don't know about what his son likes. I really am a horrible mother. Kushina lowered her head and tears threatening to fall from her eyes. So they finally realized their errors, huh? And also I'm one of them, Mikado thought. Then memories about the first time she encountered Naruto flooded her mind. Flashback. A 7-year-old Naruto was sitting on the swing under the tree near the Ninja Academy, and both of his blood-red eyes glued on the kids who's playing around, his sibling included. He could hear the laughter of the kids who's having fun playing around like what a normal kid would do. I hope I could play with them. But that's just a stupid dream since they thought of me as a demon, especially the elders, Naruto thought. Mikado was walking to the academy, then he saw one lonely blonde-haired boy on the swing looking with sad eyes at the kids who's playing around. Isn't that Kushina's kid? Mikado thought and decided to approach the boy. Hey, want a candy? Mikado smiled, offering a candy to Naruto, but Naruto accidentally used his eye ability. Huh? Where is he? Mikado thought aloud. It looks like my eyes were activated. Sigh. Well, at least someone doesn't think of me as a demon, Naruto sighed. He's still not in full control of his eye ability in this time, so this always happened accidentally, especially when he panicked. Oh, Kaa-chan, Sasuke yelled, running to her mother and hugged her. Oh, Sasuke-chan, how's your day? Mikado kneeled down and returned the hug. Great. Sasuke replied enthusiastically. Good. So what do you want to eat? Mikado asked. Dango. Okay, then they walk away to eat dango. But before they left, Mikado left a candy near the swing, making Naruto look confused. So she can still notice that I'm still here. Great, I really have to train more about stealth, Naruto thought, then picked the candy after they were far away. We're trying to make it up for him starting today, but I'm scared that he won't forgive us, Kushina continued talking as she clenched her apron. Mikado, seeing how depressed her best friend, decided to pat her shoulder, making Kushina look at her. Don't worry, Kushina, I'm sure your son will forgive you. If not, then it's just a matter of time, Mikado assured Kushina. Thank you, Mikado. Kushina hugged Mikado. Don't worry, Kushina, I'll always be at your side when you have a problem. Mikado also hugged her and run circles on her back. A rough voice was heard, making the two yelp in surprise. They turned their heads and saw Fugaku and Minato also blushing because of the scene they just saw. Fugaku! Mikado screeched while blushing madly. I'm sorry if I disturb you in your special moment, but please, I prefer you two should not hug in public like that. Minato spoke in a monotone voice. Both of the girls look away while blushing madly. Minato, I believe you're misunderstanding. Fugaku also spoke in a monotone voice while his eyes were closed. I don't think so. Anyway, since our wives are hugging together, we should probably hug each other too, so that it won't be unfair for them. Minato spoke jokingly. I know it's a joke, but, no, also, go to hell. The couples then laughed after that. Streets of Konoha. Naruto with a guitar inside of a guitar bag was walking with a trio to his home since the trio insisted to go with him so that they can protect him. Even though Naruto was strong enough or too strong for the villagers to protect himself, they still insisted to go with him, and that made Naruto smile. As they walk around the streets with his eye ability applied at the four of them so that no one can see them, Naruto's face was plastered with a frown. The trio noticed it since they know Naruto enough to know why he is frowning right now. It could be because he hate the crowd, or he just hate how this people celebrate the defeat of the Kyuubi even though the Kyuubi is not really defeated. Also, this day brings bad memories for him. The trio look worriedly at him who's facing his back to them. Kaido then started to make a conversation. So this is how being invincible, huh? You can walk around with no worries hanging on your shoulders. You still have to worry on bumping people since it will cause me to lose the effect of my eyes on all of us, Naruto replied, not taking his eyes off at Road. I know, if only you can also apply the Hugetsu Ginto to us, then we would probably be feeling free of all of the pain in the world, Kaido sighed. Now that's an idea, thanks, Naruto smiled. Don't mention it, Kaido returned the smile. So that probably means that you will achieve that maybe tomorrow, or today, or after this next hour, since you don't fail when making those even if it's a first time. Len butted in, both of his hands on the back of his neck. So that means that you're one step closer on being a god, right? Rin asked. Don't think so. I'm still too far away from that goal. Also, that won't never happen since I'm just a human like you guys, Naruto replied. We know you're still human, but learning all of your secrets made us look at you as a god. Rin blushed as she said that. Well, not all of it. Naruto sighed, then suddenly he bumped on a certain Uchiha causing his eye ability to fade away. Thousand pardons, Itachi bowed, then he saw a blonde hair and realized it was Naruto. Itachi Uchiha, what are you doing here? Did mother send you to aid me back home? Naruto asked. Yes, Naruto-kun, we should probably return now before the party starts, Itachi replied, and Naruto just nods, but before following Itachi he gestured the trio to come also. The three just nodded and followed them. As the bunch walked to the Namikaze compound with Itachi in the front, they saw a lot of famous and powerful clan leaders and their family going also to their destination. When they arrived, they were stopped by two Chunin guards guarding the entrance to the house. Remember, Naruto's family house is like a mansion. The two Chunin recognized Itachi's face and let him in. When it's Naruto's turn to go inside, he was stopped by the Chunin. Oh, is the demon going to join the party? Sure, come in if you can get past me, demon, the Chunin taunted. Kaido and Len's hands were turned into fists while Rin just glared at the first Chunin. Both boys was about to step forward, but Naruto stopped them. What's going on here? Itachi asked the two guards. Itachi-sama, the demon was about to sneak past us, but we caught him and stopped him, the second Chunin reported. The boy's with me. Also, watch your mouth, Chunin. You're disrespecting Hokage-sama's son, Itachi replied in a monotone voice. Trust me, Itachi-sama, the demon was controlling Hokage-sama and wants us to believe that this demon was part of Hokage-sama's family, the second Chunin continued. Don't tell me that Itachi-sama was also controlled by the demon? You really have done it now, you demon. The first Chunin glared at Naruto, who's unfazed by the glare, and pulled a kunai on his ninja pouch. Kill the demon before he escapes again. Both of the Chunin charged at Naruto, but before they can get a meter close to Naruto, a strong hand pulled both of them and forced them to the ground courtesy of Itachi. Itachi closed his eyes for a second, and when he opened it again, it reveals his Mangekyo Sharingan. You've crossed the line now, do you have any protests? Itachi asked in a deep tone. Forgive you us, Itachi-sama. We swear we won't do it again. Both of the guards bowed, shaking, their voices are also shaky. Beg for forgiveness to the Hokage's son, not to me. The guards snickered, but when they feel the killing intent Itachi was producing made them shrink in fear and decided to say forgive us, and was thankful to found out that Naruto and the trio disappeared. Itachi was also shocked. If Naruto moved even a single limb, he would already have sensed him, but what Naruto did was shocking. It's like he's not even there in the first place. If I ever hear you Chunin's talking to the Hokage's son like that, I'll send you to Ibiki myself, understand? The guards shook their heads shakingly, scared at what would happen to them at the hands of the sadist. Good. Itachi then continued walking to the Namikaze house. As he closed his eyes, he thought about Naruto. If the boy could pull that stealth every time, he would not be surprised if Naruto can do more greater than that. "Are you sure this is your room or this is your library?" Kaido said as he buried himself on Naruto's bed. "Good question." Len spoke in a serious tone. "As long as there is pillow-sama and bed-sama, you could probably tell immediately that it's a bedroom." Then immediately, Len's eyes turned into heart shapes and in a flash you can see him cuddling the pillows like a maniac. "Oh, pillow-sama and bed-sama. If only you know how much I miss you so." The people in the room just sweat dropped at the blonde's antics. "Thanks to these books your room doesn't look dead. Anyway, did you really read all of this? First page to the last?" Rin asked to make sure as she pulled an orange-colored book on one of the bookshelves. "I know it sounds impossible for a kid like me, but it's a yes," Naruto replied in a monotone. Okay, just wanted to make sure." As Naruto was about to bury his head on his bed, a dark voice was heard inside his head. "Hey kid, I want you to come here in the mindscape. Also bring your friends. If they don't want to, let them be." Kurama spoke. "Okay, Otosan," Naruto replied and told the Vocaloid trio about it. "I would be pleased to." Kaido smiled. "Nah. I'll just stay here with Pillow-sama and Bed-sama," Len commented, earning a bump on his head courtesy by Rin's punch. "Oh ouch? What was that for?" Len asked angrily to his twin but shrunk when he saw his twin sister's deadly glare. "You're going with us whether you like it or not." Rin spoke in a deadly, commanding voice. "But, Pillow-sama and Bed-sama." "No, but, Len, if you'll come with us, I'll be treating you a dozen bananas," Rin persuaded. "Are you sure?" Len suddenly beamed, making the people in the room sweat dropped. "Yeah, wait, the last time you told me that you bought oranges instead of bananas." Rin scratched her cheek nervously as she recalled the last time she persuaded Len using the same method right now. "No deal then." Len turned around and was about to bury himself on the pillow when suddenly the scenery changed into a grassy island at the center of a never-ending ocean with its sky. Half of it was day but some stars can still be seen and the other half was a night full of stars. Wow was the trio managed to say as they look around their surroundings. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Naruto smiled. The trio only nodded while their mouth was left open. "Well, I guess coming here isn't that bad," Len interjected. "If only a place like this was in the real world," Kaido said as he started sniffing. "Hey, Naruto," Len suddenly said, making Naruto raise his eyebrow and look at him. "Is that a bed, or it's just an illusion?" Len pointed at the bed who had a mountain-like figure under the tree. "Oh, yeah. I'm sorry but that bed was already taken by you." Before Naruto could finish his sentence, Len already jumped at the bed. "Oh, Bed-sama." Len snuggled the bed like there's no tomorrow and then he noticed something's amiss. "Is it just me or the bed seems to be hard?" "Len-san, get away from there," Naruto yelled, but it's already too late. "Get the F off me." A boy yelled that appeared to be the one sleeping in the bed as he threw Len to the pond. And then, a small fox with 9 tails and blood-slitted red eyes appeared behind the tree. "Good evening and again, happy birthday, Kit." The fox spoke in a friendly way but for the others who's not used by the voice got scared, especially Kaido. Naruto smiled and said thank you to his father figure. "You're welcome, Kit." Kurama smiled. "I should have stayed at home," Kaido thought as he cowered behind Naruto's back. Kurama noticed the others and smiled at them warmly, but for Kaido, it's like a smile when you are in your dining table and said dining table is full of wonderful food, is what he thought. Both Naruto and Kurama raised an eyebrow at Rin and in an instant, Kurama was hugged tightly by Rin. "Kawaii." Rin squealed as she hugged the 9-tailed fox tightly. "K Kit, help him me," Kurama managed to say as he struggled for air. Naruto just smiled and left his Otosan being hugged, tortured, by Rin to go lend a hand at Len if he need to. Kaido's jaw dropped as he watched how Rin just hugged the fox like it's just a normal fox. What the hell?" Len spoke to no one as he swam to the surface. "Need a hand?" Naruto asked, offering a hand waiting for the receiver to accept it. Len accepted the offer and stand up with the assist of Naruto pulling him up. After that Naruto then asked his Otosan who was above the tree about why he summoned him. "It's because I wanted to give you a birthday gift that will help you greatly every time," Kurama replied and jumped away from the tree. While on mid-air he transformed into his original size, making Len and Kaido shrink, and Rin's eyes are full of admiration towards the fox. Then suddenly a voice spoke between Kaido and Len. "Hey, Goldilocks. Is this your friends?" Naruto asked as he suddenly appeared between Len and Kaido while putting both of his arms around both of their shoulders, and of course the two jumped like a cat who just saw a wild dog. "Who is this guy? A ghost inside Naruto's mind?" Len and Kaido thought while sweating slightly. Naruto replied by putting a palm on his own face. Naruto then saw Rin, who's eyeing him from bottom to top. Naruto's face was then overshadowed by his bangs as a heavy atmosphere and the blowing wind stopped, and then suddenly a strong breeze hit them coming from Naruto's position to Rin's position. "Kya!" Rin shrieked as she stopped her skirt from being blown by the wind and to prevent the boys from seeing her pantsules. "Wait, pantsules? Yellow stripes, not bad. Naruto spoke as he eyed the yellow striped ponsu on his hands carefully while he was a 10-meter away from Rin's back. Len was petrified. Kaido looked away with the blood coming out from his nose, and Naruto was covering his nose with his hands as waterfalls like nosebleed had occurred to him. Rin realized what happened and blushed furiously because of the embarrassed and angry feeling she was feeling right now. She then pointed the index finger of her right hand to Naruto as a flicker of electricity while the other hand was holding her skirt to prevent it from being blown by the wind. "Pervert!" Rin yelled. Then a burst of yellow lightning was released coming from her index finger. Naruto just smiled. After that he was engulfed by lightning. Rin-chan. The Vocaloids, except Rin, obviously, ran to their cousin's side, who's on her knees because of the exhaustion she's feeling after the lightning she just produced. "You should've didn't do that. Now look at what happened." Len scolded his sister as he started healing his sister's burned index. "I'm sorry, I got carried away by my anger." Rin apologized. "Never mind about that. Let's just pray that the guy isn't dead," Kaido said as they watched the cloud of dust slowly dissipates. "Nice lightning. I'll be returning the favor, okay? Be sure to catch it," a dark voice spoke coming from the cloud of dust, as a strong breeze of wind completely dissipates the cloud of dust, revealing a dark smile coming from an unscathed Naruto. With his right arm was covered with two colored lightning and his index finger pointing at them. The first color was blue and the second was the same as Ren's lightning. The Vocaloids' eyes widened at the display they just saw. For their entire life, no one has ever survived that attack without being burned. As they tried to read the boy's mind, and again they were shocked again because when they try to read his mind, they can only see an endless pit of darkness just like Naruto's. And then the atmosphere became heavy as they started sweating bullets courtesy of the killing intent Naruto was producing. I can't move," the trio thought as they stare at the white-haired boy with that sinister smile plastered on his face. "Here I go," Naruto yelled, but before the lightning could be released, Naruto suddenly appeared and kicked his arm vertically, causing his arm to face the sky, making Naruto snicker since his attack has been released to the sky. Nod to the trio. "What do you think you're doing, Naruto?" Naruto asked in a calm but angry voice. Naruto smiled and said, "Nothing, I'm just testing our guests to see if they're good and then, gwa." Naruto was pummeled to the ground courtesy of a certain giant fox's paw. "Sorry about that, kids. Anyway, back to business. Kit, I want you to focus your chakra in your hands and hold your right wrist with your left hand," Kurama instruct. "Okay, Otosan," Naruto replied in a polite voice and did exactly what Kurama instructed him to do. And then suddenly red and black chakra started to cover Naruto's right arm, and a sword, Zangetsu in Bankai form, materialized on his hand. Wow is the only word that left Naruto's mouth as he was mesmerized by the beauty of the sword on his hands. Kurama was grinning happily. The Vocaloid trio also had the same expression with Naruto, and Naruto was looking at the sword seriously like he's thinking something to do with that sword. "So Kit, do you like it?" Kurama asked in a happy tone, expecting to be rewarded by a positive reply. "More like I'm in love with it, thanks, Otosan," Naruto said as he hugged Kurama's face. "Anytime, Kid." Kurama returned the favor by also hugging him with his tails. The Vocaloid trio just look at the scene with happy faces while Naruto just smiled slightly, a true smile. When the two broke their hug, Kurama cleared his throat and spoke. "Now Kit, the sword's name is Densa Zangetsu. That sword was owned by a Shinigami before. That sword's chain has an ability to extend at any lengths, depends on its wielder, /n. Yeah, I know, the original Zangetsu chain doesn't have the ability to extend, but it's a fanfic, right? After all, everything's possible in a fanfic, right? And just a single touch on its blade, even if you touch it carefully, it could give you a fatal wound. Also, just by swinging it, it could produce a strong gust of wind. Another also, Kid, I want you to promise that you'll only use this if you're in a pinch or if it involves something really important, okay?" Kurama asked, and Naruto just nods his head and replied, "I promise." "Good, now you three." Kurama turned to the trio, making the boys to shiver. "Yes?" the trio asked. "I want you three to also focus your chakra in your hands in the same manner as what Naruto did." "Okay." The trio nods their head and immediately do what Naruto did recently, and then just like before, red and black chakra covered their hands. After that, a pendant, "You guys decide the style," materialized at their hand. The trio look at the pendant with a confused look. Rin was about to ask about the pendant, but Kurama answered before she can ask. "I believe you're confused about the pendant. Well, let me explain. When that pendant glows yellow, it indicates that someone from your group is in danger, and for you to arrive at the place of your friend who's in danger, you just have to focus your chakra and touch the pendant with your hand. For example, when your brother is in danger of being raped because he was mistaken as a girl." Kaido, Rin and Naruto chuckled at this while Len had an angry expression plastered at his face. "The pendant will glow yellow, you'll just have to touch the pendant. Unfortunately, only those who also wield this pendant can only trigger that. To be quick, yellow is for danger of a friend, Red is for possible danger in your surroundings, blue for in a verge of death, black for sadness, and white for missing, understood? Kurama finished and the trio just nods. So, that means we can learn immediately the status of our friend physically and mentally by this? Kaido asked. Yup, Naruto already had one, but since he don't have any friends, the opportunity of using this, he just wears it even if it's useless for his case. Naruto showed his pendant to the trio. But now that the opportunity of using that is just a matter of time thanks to you kids. The trio smiled widely and thanks the giant fox for giving them such a wonderful gift. Now that I'm finished, you kids can now go back to the living world, Kurama said, finally letting them leave as a door materialized at their back. Okay then, see you again. Kurama Oji Len waved to the fox before disappearing into the door. Thanks for the gift, Kurama Oji. Kaido also waved before leaving. I hope I can hug you again, Rin said with small tears on her eyes before leaving. I'll be leaving now, Oto-san. Also thank you very much for the gift, Naruto said politely, but before he could enter the door, his Oto-san called out for him. What is it, Oto-san? Naruto asked. So that's your answer to them, huh? Kurama said, making Naruto look confused, and in an instant Naruto realized what he meant. It's final, Oto-san. Nothing could change it, Naruto replied in an emotionless voice. Kurama sighed and replied, I also know about your plan. Be careful out there, kid, okay? I'll try to. I'll be going now, Oto-san, Naruto said and disappeared into the door. After the door disappeared, a sobbing sound was heard in the corner. They didn't even say goodbye to me. How cruel, Naruto said as he gloomed in the corner, wiping the snot on his nose with his sleeve. Kurama just sweat dropped at the display and sighed. This night will probably going to be a long night. Back to the living world. Azami was in front of Naruto's room door with a frown on her face. She's here because their mother asked her to go check his brother's room if he's there, and for an unknown reason, she's starting to get nervous just by looking at the door of his room, because for her entire life, she never saw what's inside of the room of his older brother. Azami sighed deeply, causing her bangs to be blown by her breath. She looks like Kushina now except for the bangs. She was about to knock when suddenly the door was opened by his brother with three familiar figures on his back. What can I help you with, Azami? Naruto asked politely. Kaa-chan wants me to check if you're here, that's all. Azami then goes to the kitchen to tell their mom. Sorry, bro. It looks like we can't get to see your surprise since our mom already called us. God knows how scary she is when she's angry, Len said while shivering at the thought of their mom angry. Don't worry. It's no big deal anyway, Naruto replied as they were at the entrance of the Namikaze house. We'll be going now then, Naruto-kun, Rin said as she hugged Naruto, and then Len and Kaido pumped fists with him. But before they exited the Namikaze compound, they turned around and yelled happy birthday Naruto-kun/bro, making Naruto smile. He was about to go back to his room when suddenly Itachi appeared. The party's about to start, Naruto-kun. You should probably go down, Itachi speak politely. Naruto nods his head and said, let me change my clothes for a while and I'll follow, Naruto replied, then closed the door to his room. As you wish, Naruto-kun. Itachi then leave the place to join the party. Huh? Where's Naruto, Itachi-kun? Kushina asked to the now recently arrived Itachi. He said he's going to change clothes first, he'll be here in any moment, Kushina Obasama, Itachi replied. And then, up the stairs, she saw Naruto wearing a brown jacket with its hood black. Underneath it was a gray jacket and a necklace that she didn't saw him wear before. Also, he's wearing black pants and black ninja sandals. Kushina was about to yell his name but stopped when she saw him looking at her with those emotionless eyes. Kushina looks down as she gripped her glass tightly, making it crack slightly. Mikado and the moms talking with her noticed it and looked at the direction that caused Kushina to be like that, and then all of them started whispering. Hey, isn't that the demon? What's the demon doing over here? Just let the demon be. After all, it will be its last night, so just let the demon have fun for a while. You're right. After that, the womans that was whispering to each other laughed. That didn't go unnoticed to the two. Mikado bit her lower lip and was then shocked when she heard a glass being shattered due to a very angry Kushina, and of course blood started dripping to the floor from her hands. Mikado hurriedly go to Kushina's side to assist her. Good thing that Tsunade just walked by and immediately healed the wound. How dare they say that to my Sochi, Kushina mumbled angrily, causing Tsunade to tilt her head to show her confusion. Kushina, drink these, Mikado spoke, offering a glass of water to her. Thanks, Mikado. So is there something that matters me? Don't mean to be rude, but if you have concern for your godson, then probably it matters you, Mikado said bluntly. You mean, Menma? What is it? Did something happen to him? Tsunade asked immediately, not even thinking that the godson, Mikado, meant as Naruto. Kushina's eyes widened and Mikado massaged her temples to relieve the incoming headache. Eh? Did I say something wrong? Tsunade asked. Well, actually we're talking about Naruto, not Menma, Mikado said bluntly, and then Tsunade closed her eyes and then, oh, you mean the eldest son? What about him? Tsunade asked, showing interest to the topic. "Let me explain," Mikado replied. Naruto was in the corner, eyeing the crowd with disinterest on his eyes, so he returned on reading and took a sip at his juice. Itachi saw the antisocial boy and decided to sit beside his table. Naruto felt that someone is sitting beside him and rolled his eyes between reading only to see Itachi looking at his book. "Hey, that's Showers at Sunset by Takasaki-san, right?" Itachi asked, turning Naruto's attention. Naruto nods his head and returned to his reading. Itachi eyed him with calculating eyes that didn't go unnoticed for a caliber like Naruto. "Just by looking at this kid, I could feel that he had a lot of things under his sleeve," Itachi thought. "Staring too much might get you in trouble, Itachi-san," Naruto said, void of emotions. His book is closed but his face remains still the same, a poker face. "Oh sorry. By the way Naruto-kun, I want to give you something," Itachi said, pulling something on his pocket. "Here," Itachi said as he offered a scroll containing the Uchiha's strongest fire techniques that only Uchihas are prohibited to learn. "Won't you get in trouble for giving me a scroll full of fire techniques that only Uchihas are allowed to learn, Itachi-san?" Naruto asked, not still putting even a single touch on the scroll. Itachi just smiled and said in a friendly voice, "Don't worry Naruto-kun, I already asked Tosan about this matter and he approved. Truth be told is also the one who says that I should give you this on your birthday as a birthday gift." "Don't mean to be rude but, do you spy on me when I'm training myself?" Naruto asked, a slight hint of anger on his voice. "Honestly speaking, yep." Naruto sighed at the answer and replied in a calm before the storm voice. "Then, I respectfully request that you should stop doing that. I don't really like to have someone looking at me while I'm training." "I'll try not to do it again Naruto-kun," Itachi replied. "You better be." Naruto then walked, but before Itachi could say something about leaving his gift behind, Naruto turned his head on his shoulder and interjected. "Also about the gift, I appreciate your efforts just to give me that, but I must say no, respectfully. After all, I don't want to have myself owe someone." Naruto then continued to do what he had to do unbeknown to him. Itachi was eyeing him with interest in his eyes. "That kid is the most interesting of the three. If only people would notice him and his efforts, he would be already an Anbu at that age," Itachi thought. Before Naruto could go back to his room, he heard someone said his name. Naruto turned his head over his shoulders only to see one of the legendary Sannin and his godfather at the same time, Jiraiya. Behind him was his family except Kushina is not present. The Toad Sage beckoned for him to come and Naruto obeyed. "What can I do for you, Jiraiya-sama?" Naruto asked, making Jiraiya, Minato flinch at the respect Naruto showed them, while Menma just snickered and Azami was busy at looking at the gift box on her hands. "Well, I want you three to sign the Toad contract. Consider it as a birthday gift," Jiraiya said, smiling as he summoned the toad that carries the scroll. "Ladies first," Jiraiya said as he beckoned Azami to sign the contract. Azami put down the box that she's carrying and signed the contract excitedly. After she finished signing the contract, the Toad Sage instructed her to summon her familiar. Azami politely followed the instruction and summoned a cute, pink-colored toad. "Yay! I have a toad summoning," Azami said happily. "Menma, you're next," Jiraiya said, and Menma followed. He followed the same instructions and summoned a cool-looking toad who had goggles on its head. "Yo! Mento, at your service." The toad saluted, making Menma look at his summoning with pride on his eyes. The toad looked at him and asked if Menma is his master. Menma grinned and bumped fist with the toad. "I'm really proud of you too," Minato said, smiling, and looked at Naruto, who only stared back at him. Both of them broke contact when Jiraiya said something. "Naruto, you're next," Jiraiya said, but what Naruto replied surprised him. "I'm sorry to say this, but I respectfully decline the offer since I already have a summoning myself." Naruto then bowed his head respectfully. Jiraiya and Minato was shocked, then their eyes narrowed. "If you do really have one, then show it to me," Jiraiya said seriously. "If you insist to, then let me show you the proof." Naruto then made the necessary hand signs abruptly, making those who saw it look with awe. "So fast," was all the spectators could say. And then Naruto slammed his hand to the ground, summoning a fox as tall as Naruto's half height with its fur on white and sky blue. The spectators was mesmerized at the beauty of the fox in front of them. Even Minato and Jiraiya was completely shocked, while his two siblings look at the fox with jealousy on their eyes. "I thought that fox summoning are gone," Jiraiya thought, while Minato looked at his son with pride on his eyes. "I'm really proud of you, son," Minato thought, and then a pang of guilt hit him when he remembered that is not there for him to help him grow up as a man. "That summoning should be mine," Menma and Azami thought. "That kid never ceases to amaze me." Itachi thought the same could be said to his father. Naruto, knowing the thoughts of his family, was annoyed, but his face still remained calm. "Where did you get that, Naruto?" Jiraiya asked seriously. "It was a birthday gift from a certain fox when I was 8," Naruto said, smiling. Now that revelation shocked all of the people that are wise enough to know what he meant. He already made contact with the fox without the help of me or Minato and Kushina at the age of 8, unbelievable, Jiraiya thought. "So, can I go now?" Naruto interjected. Yeah, Jiraiya said. Naruto then left the group. Menma followed him with a pissed face while Izami just returned to her group. Minato just stared at the retreating form of his son who's walking upstairs probably to go back to his room with his other son following but was cut off by the Toad Sannin calling his name. What is it, sensei? Minato asked. Your son really is amazing, now I'm so hyped up on training him, Jiraiya said happily. The problem is, will he accept your training? Fugaku interjected. Right, Minato said bitterly. Jiraiya realizing what they're talking about shut himself. When the two siblings are out of everyone's view, Menma abruptly pushed Naruto in the wall and put his wrist on his neck. You have to teach me that summoning or I'll hurt you, Menma said dangerously. He smirked to himself, thinking that his brother probably wet his pants when he said that. Little did he know Naruto already readied himself when this event happened. Naruto smirked making Menma's eyes widened. So what if I said no? Will you punch yourself and tell father and mother that I punched you because you're annoying me to teach you my summoning? Sorry to disappoint you but I won't let that happen, not anymore. Naruto finished and then he disappeared. Menma smirked since he thought that he knows his next move. He then abruptly but swiftly turned around and swung his fist only to punch nothing. You know what? That action is too mainstreamed, Naruto said as he appeared again where he was last seen, causing Menma's eyes widened again. He abruptly turned around again only to see no one again. If I were you I would probably stop that. You're just wasting your energy over petty things. Naruto spoke again but is already in the view of the crowd, causing Menma to grit his teeth. I'll get you someday, bastard, Menma said angrily. We'll see. Naruto then disappeared again and Menma returned to his group with a pissed face, and of course this didn't go unnoticed to the group. What's wrong, Menma? You look kinda or really pissed? Kiba asked. Well, that stupid brother messed with me again, Menma replied angrily. Don't worry dude. We'll give him a good beating after this, a random friend of his said with pride on his voice as he tightened his fist, making Menma sweat drop at his friend's antics. Hey! I'm sure you're already down before you can land a fist on him, Kiba said mockingly. What did you say, dog breath? Shut up, Menma yelled, making most of the people in the room look at his direction. Sorry, the two apologized and returned to their sits. Thank you, Menma replied as he returned his focus to the chess table in front of him. Aren't you being a bit too hard on them? Shikamaru said with a sweat on his face. Doesn't matter. What's more important is defeating you, Menma said as he moved his piece forward only to be eaten by a pawn at Shikamaru's side. The crowd returned to their sessions like what happened recently didn't happen. Back to where Minato was. Minato turned his head only to see Kushina behind her was Mikoto and a slightly pissed Tsunade. What is it? Kushina? Minato asked with a smile. Then he noticed that the sides of his wife's eyes and her nose were red. Is there something wrong, Kushina? Minato asked worriedly to his wife. Nothing, really. I'm just crying because Mikoto told Tsunade-sama about our son's situation, Naruto. Oh. Is it time already? Kushina asked, making Minato tilt his head slightly. Then he looked at his watch only to find out it's already 8:30 p.m. Minato looked at his wife with determination in his eyes and Kushina just smiled sadly at him. I don't care if things won't be easy with him as long as he forgives us. That would be enough since that would be the bridge of a new life for him, Minato said with determination, making Kushina, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Mikoto, Fugaku and Itachi smile at him. Everyone, may I have your attention, Minato said loudly at the center of the crowd, making all of the people who heard him look at his direction. Minato cleared his throat and spoke, loud enough for anyone to hear. I just want to say thank you to all of the people who came here to join and celebrate the birthday of my sons and daughter. And then the whispering to each other session started again. Wait, sons? I thought Hokage-sama only had one son? If you count the demon as one of Hokage-sama's son then it will be sons. Seriously? What the hell? The demon will pay for brainwashing Hokage-sama. Don't worry, the demon will get what's coming for him tonight. In the corner were Shikaku, Kuza, Inoiki, Shibi, and Hiyashi looking at the whispering crowd with disgust plastered on their faces. Just how stupid can these villagers can be? Can't they see the difference between the jailer and the QB itself? Shikaku said, making the others who hear what he said nod their heads in agreement. Minato had enough of it and released a large amount of killing intent at the room, silencing them. Thank you. Also, I want to announce something very important involving who's going to be the next heir of the Namikaze clan. Now all of the ears inside the room were interested, except for one, Naruto. Menma looked at his brother with a smirk on his face while Naruto, seeing this, just rolled his eyes. Anyway, just how did he learn where Naruto was? Maybe Kami had helped him finding where his brother was, or maybe it's just pure luck, who knows. I hereby announced the Namikaze clan's heir. Menma stand up with a prideful smirk on his face and was ready to run to his father, but the next line stopped him and shocked the people in the room except for those who are close to Minato. Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto. Minato announced happily with a smile on his face, making those who are close to him clap their hands. What? No way. Menma thought with disbelief in his eyes, then he looked at his brother with anger in his eyes, then his brother disappeared again, making him angrier. Even Azami was shocked. Even though she's already the heir of the Uzumakis, she thought that it would be his brother, Menma, would be the next named heir for the Namikazes, but it looks like she's wrong. She could only imagine the anger his brother was feeling right now. Menma then stood up as he slammed his hands on the table near him, making it have a crack slightly. You're kidding, right, Oto-san? There's no way that useless brother would be the next heir, right? Maybe you just misinterpreted it, right? Maybe. His protest was cut off by his father's soft voice. Sorry, Menma, but being the heir means you should be the eldest of your siblings, which means Naruto should be the heir since he's the eldest. Minato finished, but Menma's still not convinced. Then he thought of something that could finish this argument. Choosing an heir can also be decided by match 2, right, Oto-san? Menma said in a low voice, but enough for the people in the room to hear. Minato nods his head and looked at his son seriously. You want to settle things in a match, right, Menma? Menma nods his head. Then, before Minato could finish, he was cut off by a voice coming from a certain blonde near the entrance of their house. When Minato turned around, he was shocked at what he saw. The left eye of his son, Naruto, was burning with blue flame. Just like his sensei said, Naruto really is the child of prophecy. If you want the title that much, then you can have it. I don't care about that title, not anymore, Naruto said while smiling. Just as I suspected, he really is the child of prophecy, Minato Jiraiya said as he eyed Naruto's left eye seriously. Minato, it really is him. Our son really is the child of prophecy, Kushina said happily. See, Oto-san? That brother is a coward. He doesn't want to fight with me because he's afraid that his title will be stolen. He doesn't want the title to be mine. He wants the title for his own. Menma smirked as he provoked Naruto more, but Naruto still remained stoic. Menma was about to continue his provoking, but Minato stopped him. Let me tell you one thing. Do you really think things will be okay and I'll forgive you because you return what's rightfully mine? Sorry to disappoint, but my answer is no, Naruto said in a cold voice without hesitating, making Naruto's parents and godparents' eyes widened. Most people in the room was left in the dark but just kept their silence and just watched the scene since they don't want to bother them. Sochi, maybe we could talk this out? Everything might get clearer for you if we talk this out. Kushina begged, but still Naruto, being Naruto, remained stoic. Say, can you fix a glass that fell and got broken? Naruto asked. Kushina nods her head, then she realized what his son meant. Obviously no, right? Our relationship is like that, once it's broken it can never be fixed again. Jiraiya and Tsunade look down due to the guilt they're feeling inside of them right now, while Minato looked at his son with eyes void of hopelessness, and Kushina started sobbing. Menma, seeing his mother cried, was angered, causing him to charge at his brother angrily. How dare you make Ka-chan cry, Menma roared. When is close enough to punching his blonde brother, something blocked him and was bounced back like a rubber wall would do to you. Menma glared angrily and charged again, but was bounced back again. Your efforts are futile, you should stop that, Naruto said coldly. Shut up. Menma was about to charge again, but his father caught his arm and stopped him. Menma was about to protest, but Minato begged for him to stop. Naruto, we're really sorry for neglecting you before, we promise we'll make up for all our past mistakes. Minato begged, only to be replied by a cold glare from his son. Just like what I said before, I won't forgive you, but if I will, it won't be easy. Naruto replied and continued, do you people think that what you did to me before will be tolerated? No. Ever since the time you people started on training my siblings, no, Azami and Menma, you people left me behind without even bothering to look back and train me too. Every time I asked for training, you always say that you'll start my training when I enter the academy, but even I already entered the academy, you still didn't train me even if I asked for it. Also, every time when I asked something, you always say you're busy even you're not, but when it comes to Menma and Azami, you'll immediately do what they requested without second thoughts. And every time, I get beaten up by the stupid villagers who can't see the difference between the jailer and Baijuo, you always welcome me with a slap in the face. Every time I get blamed by my siblings about something that I didn't even do, you always punish me without hearing the true reason, and every time I speak the truth you always make my punishment more painful. I've suffered all of those because of that prophecy you believed. Naruto stopped and sighed deeply, then a smile cracked on his face. And then I met someone who's more fitting to be called Oto-san, even he's not blood related with me. This made Naruto's parents shock. Now they're feeling more guilt built inside them. Whoever this man that take care for Naruto when they didn't, they must say thank you with all their hearts. Also they feel kinda jealous, scratch that. They do feel jealous that this man was the one that watched their son grow up to be the man he was now. One more thing, Oto-san is not a human but a demon, as what you people called him. Do you people really think that Otosan or the Kyuubi attacked the village that night was in his own consciousness? The answer is no. Naruto then started making hand signs at a fast speed, making the people in the room watch with confusion in their eyes. "What are you doing, Naruto?" Minato asked seriously. "I know that few of you already know the cause of the Kyuubi attack that night and most of you don't, obviously. So I'm giving you all the answer of the cause of the attack." Also, the walls in the room started to glow blue as Naruto kept on making some hand signs while the people was looking at walls anxiously. "I'll make all the people in this room suffer the sufferings that I suffered for my entire life," Naruto said grimly as he slammed his hand in front of him. Then a seal appeared. Minato, Kushina and Jiraiya were shocked at the display they just saw. The seal that Naruto just created right now was a very high-level seal that only seal masters can do it. Jiraiya was about to ask but Naruto interrupted him. "If you're thinking how I did this in just a short period of time without you people noticing, it's because I've created 4 clones when I was still in my room to do the necessary objectives outside the estate." Now Jiraiya's jaw dropped. The same could be said to the Namikaze Uzumaki couple. "This kid really is smart. If only I realized this before." Jiraiya thought to himself and sighed mentally. "Is our son really this smart? I know he's already smart when he was still a kid, but I didn't expect him to be this smart." Minato and Kushina thought to themselves. The higher clans in the room look amazed at the scene they just saw, while the rich clans that know nothing about those just watched the scene nervously. "Kai," Naruto mumbled. Then the blue light engulfed all of them. When the light dissipated, revealing all of the people in the room on the ground, most people would think they were sleeping, but the real answer is they were now witnessing Naruto's sufferings and countable happiness of his life. Some started screaming, begging for it to stop. Naruto then turned around and thought to himself, "Every beatings and torments that I suffered will be their sufferings. Those people that are weak-willed will become crazy or scared at everything after the technique will subdue. After all, what I've suffered before will be their sufferings right now." Then Naruto's left eye stung painfully, making him fall to his knees as he coughed blood. "This is bad. I almost forgot what Naruto told me," Naruto said to himself as he put a hand on his left eye. When he removed his hand, it returned to its blue color and the blue flames is gone, but there's one problem. His left eye was bleeding, just like what happened to a Uchiha who overused his Mangekyou Sharingan. "Blood. This is bad. I only have 5% chakra left after using that technique and I'm not in the condition to fight those stupid villagers right now," Naruto thought as he stared to his hand that he used to cover his left eye recently and to the large group of civilians who had pitchforks, kunais, machete, torch, and other objects that can be used to kill. "Hey, there's the demon!" a random ninja yelled as he pointed at Naruto's direction. Naruto smiled nervously as he stared at the group. "This is really, really bad," Naruto yelled mentally as he had difficulties on standing up. "Oh my god!" A random female civilian covered her mouth as she stared at what they say behind Naruto. Behind Naruto was their beloved Hokage, who had blood trickled from his mouth. The same could be said to the others inside the estate. "What had you done, demon?" a random fat civilian yelled as he stepped forward and pointed his knife to Naruto, but Naruto just rolled his eyes in annoyance. "You're going to pay for this, demon!" a random civilian yelled as they charged to Naruto. Naruto glared at the group closing by. He don't really have a choice right now. Even if he can run, he'll end up being tripped to the ground due to the fatigue his body is in right now. Having no other options, Naruto closed his left eye. "You people left me no other choice, then. I'll just make you all unconscious to finish this once and for all," Naruto mumbled as he opened his left eye and was now producing blue flame just like before. "Even though I'm using my left eye, my chakra was only added by 10%, making it 15%. How troublesome. I guess it only adds a lot at the first use," Naruto thought, and then it stung again. "Not right now, please." He waited for the first attacker to come closer, and when the first attacker was close enough, he punched the attacker's gut, rendering the attacker unconscious. Naruto then jumped high enough to see the whole group. There really are a lot of them. Also, Naruto looked at the road that the group used to get over to the compound and saw torches that was joining the group. They have reinforcements, and what makes the situation more worse is there are a few Chunin level and Jonin level shinobis helping them, Naruto said to himself, and then he made the necessary hand seals for the cage bunchine. But unfortunately for him, he can only produce 3 clones at his state right now. "Wheel, that's better than nothing," Naruto thought, as he felt gravity pulling him down. He landed on the fat civilian's face, also rendering the fat guy unconscious. "This is really troublesome," Naruto thought to himself again as he dodged swiftly the incoming attacks of the civilians. A random civilian with his weapon raised in the air ran to him yelling. Naruto didn't notice it and was too late to turn around, but his clone managed to kick it in the head, making him unconscious. Naruto thanked his clone and returned on, dodging the attacks. "Sometimes, I'm thankful that my clones had their own will. If not, Probably I'm screwed right now, Naruto thought, and punched his attacker and kicked him away. Naruto noticed one of his clones is in a pinch and was about to get hit by a blunt weapon. Good thing his other clone jumped in the scene by kicking the guy on his side twice. A Chunin level managed to grab one of Naruto's clones and used a technique called Kaden Hato, making his clone burn inside out and puffed into smoke. Damn it, it's just a clone, he heard the Chunin complained, and because of that, he didn't notice the incoming butterfly kick on one of Naruto's clone. 2 left. This are really complicated right now. Naruto thought to himself, and something that can help them greatly popped out in his mind. Oto-san, can you spare me some chakra? I'm really in a pinch right now. Naruto asked Kurama, but no response has been replied. Oto-san, are you there? Naruto asked again, still no response. Dang it. I guess I am really on my own right now, Naruto mentally sighed. Meanwhile, in Hatsune Vocaloid's house, Luka and Miku was watching with wide eyes at what she just saw right now outside the window of the Hatsune Vocaloid's house. A bunch of people yelling they'll kill the demon tonight was running to the place where Naruto lived. Luka-chan, you marked Naruto-chan right? Miku asked worriedly to her cousin. Yes. Why? Luka asked, and then her left eye suddenly stung, but not as painful as Naruto. Luka-chan, are you okay? Miku asked more worriedly, and then Luka stared back at her cousin with tears on her eyes. Miku-chan. Naruto is in trouble right now. We need to help him, Luka said, shocking Miku. Why what? Luka-chan, as much as I like to help him, but we can't, remember? We're still in rehabilitation, and even if we helped him right now we will be punished for breaking the rules. If only we're not in rehabilitation we could probably help him right now. Miku replied sadly. Luka stared at the floor and an idea popped in her mind, making Miku's eyes widened. Don't tell me you're thinking what I think you're thinking, Luka-chan, Miku said worriedly. There's no other choice, Miku-chan. So please, can you use your technique and cover up for me, Luka begged her cousin. Hopefully her cousin will approve at her idea. Geez, okay then, Luka-chan, you'll treat me a lot of leek after this, okay? Miku said dejectedly, making Luka beam at the news. Thank you so much, Miku-chan. Luka then wore her favorite jacket that had colors of white mostly and pink on its sides as Miku created a complete replica of Luka and a portal to the outside of the house. I'll never forget this, Miku-chan. Luka smiled bright to her cousin, who just smiled back. Geez, don't say it like you're gonna die in the next minute. Be careful out there, okay? And please rescue Naruto-chan, Miku said while smiling. I will, thanks, Miku-chan. Luka then entered the portal. When the portal was gone, Miku immediately go the window and saw Luka waving at her, causing her to wave back. Luka then run to the Namikaze compound's direction. Please be okay, Luka-chan, Naruto-chan, Miku said as she held her hand in her chest. Back to where Naruto was. Naruto managed to eliminate half of the group's population just by rendering them unconscious, and only one of his clones survived at the battle. He was still bugged by Kurama not answering him. His clothes are now ragged and was slightly torn up, and his left eye's bleeding had gotten worse, but its blue flames activity remained the same. He's almost out of gas right now, and the people inside the estate started screaming loudly again. As an attacker charged to him again, he used the attacker's momentum to lariat him, and then he grabbed the attacker's collar and threw it to the incoming enemies. He then fell to his knees with his clone wobbling to stay on its form. It really is hopeless right now, isn't it? Naruto thought to himself as he stared to the black sky full of stars. So pretty. Naruto keeps on staring with those lifeless eyes of his at the sky, and then suddenly, 2 attackers charged at him. He raised his hand in the air while he's still on his knees. His hand was flattened with all the fingers next to each other, leaving no gaps between them. When the attackers are close enough, he swung his arm horizontally, causing the attackers to fall on their knees with their stomachs spraying blood all over the place. The time the blood touched his face, weirdly it feels great. He then stands up without difficulties, but his arms were swaying like a wind was blowing it. His clone started backing away from with its eyes widened as he stared at his original. And when Naruto raised his head up in a tilted manner, a grim smile that shouldn't be on his face was plastered on his that are once so calm. Now he looks like a psychopath because of that smile. The civilians started sweating bullets and were backing away as they feel the dangerous aura that Naruto was radiating right now. As Naruto stared at the crowd around him with that grim smile of his, there's only one thing that he thought. Kill. 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 That is the only word that echoes in his head right now. Don't fret. He's only one and we are many. Don't let this opportunity get wasted or we'll suffer forever, a bravely stupid enough civilian yelled as they watched at Naruto's form right now. And when Naruto stared at him with his head tilted and that grim smile on his face still remains, caused him to skip a beat and making his breathing heavy. The civilian cannot take the stare anymore and collapsed. The people around him stared at his lying body on the ground with wide eyes. Hey! Coward, Naruto said grimly, then he started charging in a random direction. In that direction, The people are as scared as cats that they didn't realize they're already wounded deeply, and when you realize it you're already in the ground with a deep wound inflicted on you or one of your limbs is already flying. The normal people can't do anything to stop the rampage. Good thing there's a Jonin available at the place and paired with Naruto. So you already showed your true colors, huh, demon? The Jonin mocked, only to be replied by silent, and then Naruto's smile widened as he swung his right arm, causing the Jonin's eyes widened as he stared at his flying left arm in the air. Ah! The Jonin yelled in agony, but he managed to take 2 kunais in his ninja pouch and throw it at Naruto, only for the kunai to pass through Naruto's body without leaving a scratch. The Jonin's eyes widened more as Naruto swung his left arm vertically, causing for his other arm to be flied in the air. The Jonin landed on his knees, staring at both of his armless arms with eyes filled with horror. Naruto then landed in front of him and placed his hand near the Jonin's neck. The Jonin looked at him horrified at the blonde's smiling face. Please, spare me." The Jonin begged, only to be replied by silence. Naruto started to move his hand slowly at the Jonin's neck as blood started to trickle from his neck, and then, "Naruto-kun, please stop it." A familiar voice stopped the blonde from doing what he was about to do. Naruto turned around and his eyes widened as he saw Luka with tears trickling from her eyes. The grim smile on his face disappeared and his gaze returns to normal. Luka saw before Naruto could finish, a blunt weapon that had sharp nails on it hits him right at the side of his face. Luka stared with horror on her eyes at what she just saw right now, and then someone pats her back courtesy of a pervert-looking civilian. "Good job on distracting the demon, kid." The pervert-looking civilian smiles at him. Luka can only look at the lifeless form of Naruto as the fat-looking civilian that hits him with the blunt weapon keeps on smashing Naruto's head with his weapon. "Hey! Not so tough are we now, huh, demon?" the fat guy said as he grabbed Naruto's head by his hair and beckoned for someone to give him something sharp. When the guy received what he wanted, he first studied it. "Well, as long as it can cut a head, then this will do," the guy said, making all the people around them yell in joy. "Finally, the demon will die." Cut the demon's head and place it at the plaza. "We finally avenged our loved ones." Little did they know that this will trigger their scariest nightmare. Back to the Namikaze estate. Minato grunted as he struggled to stand up and wiped a trickle of blood near his mouth. He felt something wet on his face and touched it, only to find out that is crying. He wiped it and looked at his surroundings and found most of the people are still in the dream. He then saw his wife cuddling her knees, sobbing. Minato immediately hugged his wife to calm her, but to no avail. Minato, our son has suffered greatly because of our foolishness. What kind of parents are we?" Minato leaving our son like that. Kushina cried more as she held Minato tightly. Minato knew what his wife feels but remained strong for his family. To help his wife get over the pain they just witnessed, he ran circles at her back, and then cheers started to be heard from outside of their house, and when they hear someone yelling about the demon is dead. Minato's eyes widened and immediately ran outside the estate. As he reached the outside, he saw lots of bodies that are just rendered unconscious lying on the ground and saw few bodies that are missing some limb or limbs. But what gained his attention more is that, the blonde-haired boy that was held by the hair by a fat guy who had a sharp sword on his hands, ready to land it on Naruto's neck. Without hesitating but was panicking, Minato ran to his son with the best he could, even if his legs are not in the situation to run right now because of the fatigue they experienced recently. Before he could even cover half of the distance between him and his son, he tripped and landed on the ground violently. He tried to stand up but his feet are preventing him to. He could only watch his son's head get separated with its body. As the sword was getting lower and lower to Naruto's neck, Minato could only watch with horror on his eyes. "Stop!" Minato yelled, but the people didn't hear it due to their cheerings. As the sword is only half a centimeter away from Naruto's neck, wind is starting to cover Naruto and the guy from everyone's view. The people stared at the tornado in front of them with wide eyes. What's happening? I don't know. But I believe it is something bad. Everyone, don't let your guard down. When the tornado disappeared, the fat guy remained the same and his position is still the same except for Naruto. His hair is now white with some streaks of it are blonde, his left eye was producing blue flame and his right eye was producing red flame. All of the wounds that were inflicted on him were healed but his clothes remain the same. His expression is blank and on his right hand was dense as Anjutsu. And then, the unexpected happened. Naruto swung his sword vertically to the fat guy's head and lower body. At first nothing really happened, but after 2 seconds, the body was divided into two cleanly as blood started to gush from it, cover Naruto with its blood making him look sinister. Naruto then licked the blood on his sword making him smile grimly. All of the people including Minato was horrified at what they saw. Just by feeling Naruto's aura, you already know that you have met your greatest nightmare of all. Naruto then put his hands on his face in a very sinister manner and spoke sinisterly in Naruto's voice. "Now, shall we start the real party?" The sky is dark and rapid droplets of water hitting another water can be heard. A blonde-haired boy can be seen floating at the vast amount body of water that had the same color as the crying sky. The blonde-haired boy named Naruto just stared at the dark sky with his blue to the left and red to the right lifeless eyes, not minding the cold droplets of water dropping to his eyes. And from the looks of it, he's half awake. Ugh. Where am I? Naruto asked weakly to himself, now completely awake. He investigated the place he is in right now only with his eyes and realized that he's surrounded only by water. Why am I here? Is this my mindscape? Naruto asked again only for no one to answer, obviously. He then contemplates the events that happened earlier. Unfortunately, the only thing he could remember is that he was fighting the people that attacked him and managed to defeat half of the attackers' populace by just rendering them unconscious, and after that, only one of his clones managed to survive, who's barely staying on its form. Due to exhaustion, he fell to his knees. He then stared at the sky full of stars with his heterochromia eyes, and after that he heard Luca call after his name before something blunt but spiky object hit the side of his face hardly, and the rest is darkness. Before he can get back to reality, an unidentified force coming from below his form then pulled him to the depths of the water. He was about to defy this force and swim back to the surface, but a chain wrapping both of his legs is stopping him to do so. He tried to cut the chains with his Hugetsu Gento, but it's no use. Realizing that his efforts are futile, he stopped. His lungs are starting to get heavy due to the lack of air, and then, on the corner of his eyes, he saw a light and he can hear a weeping child. His eyes widened at this. Maybe because he can hear things clearly despite being underwater, or maybe because the crying voice of the kid is familiar. He slowly turned his head around and saw his little figure running away from the angry civilians. Is that me? Naruto thought. He then saw his little form tripped because of a stone that is big enough to trip you if you're careless. Naruto, knowing what's going to happen next, tried to approach his form, and again, the chains that is wrapping his foot is stopping him. As the beatings of his small form started, he felt a feeling that he never ever want to feel again. Fear. The fear of being beaten, the fear of being neglected, the fear of never being loved. All of those fear in a box he endured for his entire living. If his Otosan, Kurama, is not there by his side, wonder what's going to happen to his sanity. And now it's returning again. The fears that he feared. The last thing he want to experience is losing his Otosan. Naruto, unable to do anything at the situation, just clutched his head. Stop. Please stop, someone please, make it stop. Naruto begged, and as if someone's listening to him, he was pulled by a great force to the surface, causing him to be thrown a couple of meters away from the water's surface, causing a huge splash, and the chains that was wrapping his legs disappeared. He was then pulled back to the water by the gravity, and again, it caused a huge splash. Naruto then stood on his knee and examined his surroundings. The sky is still crying, a lone isle with a dead tree at its center, but what surprised him is that the giant cage at the side of the isle, with Kurama, his Otosan, inside it. Naruto then approached the cage quickly and saw a seal at the center of it. A seal? But how? He thought aloud, his eyes then narrowed, realizing the only person he could think that can do this. Naruto. Naruto growled as he looked above the cage and saw Naruto sitting leisurely with his eyes producing blue flame. You're quick to catch up. Good. Naruto replied with his eyes looking at Naruto seriously. So you really did, Naruto said dangerously with his hair overshadowing his eyes. And in an instant, Naruto disappeared, leaving a huge splash at where he stood before. Naruto just closed his eyes and grabbed Naruto's right arm on its Hugetsu Gento that is pointing at his skull dangerously. He then gripped it tightly, causing Naruto to grit his teeth as he can feel the bones of his right arm slightly crashed. You're weak, Naruto. Naruto heard his inner self spoke before being sent upward by a punch to his gut by Naruto, and obviously, he puked blood. Naruto then slashed Tensa's Angetsu 3 times, producing 3 blue crescent waves to Naruto. Naruto closed his eyes for a moment, and when he opened it again, his left eye started producing blue flame again. As the waves is getting closer to him, he dodged the first one by spinning to the left, and the second by leaning backward, and the third by doing a backspin. He then dived towards Naruto's direction. Naruto, seeing this, just smirked and said, "Fool." Naruto's eyes narrowed seeing him smirked. He then turned his head around and was surprised when the 3 waves that he just dodged right now is coming back at him. He looked back at Naruto's direction and saw another trio going after him. Naruto then straightened his body as he dodged the first waves by going between the waves. Unfortunately, the last 4 was going at him at a fast speed. Naruto was then hit by the 4 and forced him to the water with a giant splash. Kagame Vocaloid household. A minute before the battle started, Rin was lying down on her bed as she read the black-colored book titled The Neglected Black Sheep that she's taken from Naruto's bookshelf earlier with glasses on her eyes since she can't read properly without her glasses. She can't help but cry at how sad the story is. The protagonist of the story tried its best to be acknowledged by its group but to no avail. Then the time comes that the protagonist have gotten tired of trying and stopped. The protagonist then put his efforts only at improving himself only, not minding the opinion of others to him, and after a while, he left the group and started living only for his own. A disastrous event then happened. The group was attacked by a group of wolves. The protagonist happened to pass by them. A wolf saw him but didn't attack him because of his dirty color. The protagonist watched his group being slaughtered one by one, and seeing them slaughtered isn't a good sight to see. The protagonist had enough of it and helped the group by using a trap that was made by humans. The protagonist then sheltered the surviving group at his place, but in the end, he still hated, because of his color, and was kicked out from his own house. Outside his house, he can hear the sheeps inside cheering and laughing together from having something great that isn't theirs in the first place. How unpleasant, isn't it? Having your own makings taken away from you despite helping them. The protagonist was then met by the group of wolves earlier and was eaten. Not even a single flesh can be seen from his carcass. Rin then put the book at the end table and wiped the tears away before staring at the ceiling of her room. She then took the pendant from her neck that Kurama gave them and raised it in front of her. Naruto-san. Then suddenly, the pendant glowed blue. She covered her eyes from the sudden light that the pendant emits. Her door was then slammed open, making her jump like a surprised cat would. Rin-chan. Naruto-san is in danger, someone yelled. Rin turned her head to voice his direction and saw Len on his pajama and Kaido adjusting his scarf nervously, with their pendant at their hands also glowing same color as hers. I know. Rin replied as she removed herself from her bed. Then let's go then before things get worse. Kaido spoke as he entered the conversation of the two. Damn right we should. Len replied only for Kaido and Rin to give him a deadpan look. You're gonna go outside wearing that? Rin questioned with annoyance mixed from her voice. Of course not. That's why I'm going back to my room and change my clothes. Len answered, but when he turned back, he saw the visage of their very angry mom, except for Kaido, with looking at them, scaring the hell out of them. Their mom had a neck-length blonde hair same as the twin hair's color. So where are you children planning to go to? Their mom asked sweetly, but their guts are telling them otherwise. Hey mom. Len spoke nervously only for his face to be wrapped by the hand of their mother. So you three are planning to rescue your friend? How sweet. But no. Their mom said from sweet to stern. But Mom Rin tried to reason with her mom only for her to be stopped. No buts. Kais-kun, a little help here please. A man with short, spiky yellow hair then appeared from the door with a smile on his face. What is it, Rain-chan? The man asked, revealing to be their dad named Kais, only to be replied by a stern look from his wife. Alright, I get it. Kais replied to his wife nervously. He then looked at the trio seriously, knowing that their cause is good. He smiled. Alright. But I'm going with you three, okay, to ensure you three's safeness, okay? Their father said, smiling, making the trio sigh in relief. In a flick of a finger of their father, and again, Kaido is an exception, their clothes changed into their appropriate clothing for going outside. Their mother just looked at them worriedly. Kais noticed it and touched the cheek of his wife. Don't worry, we're going to be safe, I promise, Kais said, smiling, causing for his wife to blush. But then, his wife, Rain, whispered to him, you better. Because if something were to happen to the children or to you, don't be surprised to see your entrails in the hangers, K? Rain whispered sweetly. Kais can only gulp in fear as he imagines his hanging entrails and his wife cheerfully smiling at him sweetly with blooded knife on her hands. Why yes. Kais then immediately picked the three and ran to the door. Remember what I said, okay? Kais-kun, Rain yelled, making Kais more nervous. The trio could swear that they heard their father/uncle grumble something about scary women's on their period. Outside the Namikaze estate, after Yaruto's wake, the sky full of glittering stars, the moon is red, unconscious bodies everywhere, dead bodies everywhere, people missing a limb, crying, crimson liquid splattered everywhere and metallic-like smell fills the air. Now, shall we start the real party? Those words keeps on ringing through Minato's brain. He didn't expect his son to literally cut to that fat civilian just now and can't help but grimace at how clean the cut is. He stared at the face of his son and was shocked at the sudden change. His hair changed into white with streaks of blonde from overall blonde, and his tan skin changed into unnaturally pale, thus reminding him of a certain snake Sanin, and just by looking at him, you can feel his horrifyingly strong aura that would faint those who are not strong-willed. Minato, for sure, thought that the person he is looking right now is not his son, but a demon. Guilt run through his body, knowing that he's one of the reason why this is happening to his son. He then stood up without difficulties as he can feel his power returning back to him after releasing the other seal that Naruto put in him earlier. He didn't know how his son did it and he didn't care for now. He then walked towards him with his signature kunai on his right hand, not minding the bodies that he just passed by. Naruto, or should I say, Yaruto, saw his father approaching and smiled, a smile that should never appear from someone around his age, shinobi or not. "I see that you want to join the party, huh? Oto-san." His voice has changed too. Minato noted to himself. Yaruto frowned, hearing no response from his father not speaking. I really hate that. Minato clenched his fist as memories of Naruto asking something for a lot of times that he didn't answer. Yaruto sighed and spoke. "I see, then let's make our weapons do the talking then." Yaruto then charged while Minato readied himself with his signature fighting stance. "Don't you dare attack Hokage-sama demon." A group of civilians blocked the way. Yaruto frowned at seeing this and spoke in a chilling voice, "Don't get in the way." And in an instant, all of them was cut into half, horizontally, by the sword on Yaruto's hand now filled with blood. Minato's facial expression darkened and threw his kunai to Yaruto's direction at a very fast speed. Yaruto then dodged it and blocked Minato's kunai that is pointing between his eyes dangerously with his sword. As expected from the yellow flash, "You really are fast," Yaruto complimented. Minato just shrugged the compliment. "Whoever you are inside my son, leave," Minato commanded, only for Yaruto to laugh. Minato jumped away from him and readied himself. "Son? Ha! Don't make me laugh. I have never been your son in the first place to begin with." Yaruto then disappeared in a flash, leaving a huge crater at where he stood before disappearing, surprising the Hokage. Yaruto then appeared above the Hokage and was about to slash him, only for the Hokage to disappear and appear behind him, Rasengan ready. Minato then charged the blue sphere at him, only for it to be blocked by Yaruto's black sword on a reverse grip. In an instant, Yaruto's position changed, his head now facing the earth and his lower section facing the sky. Using their momentum, he kicked Minato in the back, surprising him. Minato then fell hardly to the earth, causing the earth at where he fell to have a crater and cloud of dust to cover their sights. The dust was then blown away as Yaruto dived in for another slash, only for it to be blocked with Minato's tri-pronged kunai. Minato then sent a roundhouse kick to Yaruto's neck, only for him to block it with his free hand, but in the end, he was sent flying. "So fast," Yaruto thought to himself. He then saw another bunch of civilians about to attack him. "Now's our chance. Kill him," someone yelled from the group and charged. "Idiots doesn't really know when to stop, do they? It's not like we have much of a choice. Now, don't go crying to your mama now, will ya?" He then threw his sword to the incoming mob with the chain from the sword extending from his hands. "Idiots!" Minato groaned as he threw high tri-pronged, stopping the sword from going to the mob before appearing in front of them. "Hokage-sama!" The mob gasped. In an instant then, Yaruto appeared right at his face, surprising him. "Protecting the people that attacked your son now, eh? Now that's a really good father, really?" Yaruto sneered. In a blinding speed, Minato then grabbed Yaruto by his jacket's collar and threw him to the air before disappearing, and this time it's Minato's doing. A random female civilian then approached him. "You really saved us back there, Hokage-sama. Thank you. Please defeat the demon, we would be much obliged," the female civilian said to him. Minato don't know how to respond. He wanted to obliterate this person right now for bad-mouthing his son, but if he do that, certainly it would dirty his reputation. He then heard someone talking. "Hokage-sama is finally here, the demon is screwed now. Now we can finally relax. I can't wait to see the demon's head to be put in the plaza." Hearing this made Minato's blood boil and just decided to go after Yaruto before he lost his temper around them. Kais and the trio then arrived, only to be welcomed by the smell of blood, amputated limbs, dead people and crying people grieving at their dead people. "What in the world happened here?" Kais gasped, his eyes then fell to a familiar pink-haired person who's on her knees, crying. Realizing that it's his niece, Luca immediately rushed to her side, but his daughter beat her to it. "Luca-chan, what are you doing here?" Rin asked worriedly to her crying cousin. Luca looked at her and hugged Rin for comfort. The boys, hearing the name of their cousin, also immediately rushed to her side. "Rin-chan, they what? What is it, Luca-chan?" Rin asked worriedly again. Len and Kaido just listened to the two, worry plastered on their faces. A finger then touched Luca's forehead, rendering her unconscious, surprising the trio. They looked up at whose finger is it and saw that it's their dad/uncle's. "Why did you do that, Oto-san?" Rin questioned angrily to his father. "Let her rest, she's already been through much in just a week," their father/uncle said to her. Rin, knowing that protesting wouldn't solve anything, just zipped her mouth and looked at her crying cousin. "Luca-chan, also, I have to take the pendant, three of you," their father/uncle asked, surprising them. Len and Kaido looked at each other and nodded their head and gave the pendant that Kurama gave them to their father/uncle, knowing that even if they go to help their friend, They can only do nothing but just be an anchor. Rin was surprised by the boys' action. She read their minds and realized why they did it. Rin-chan? Kais beckoned his daughter to give the pendant, but she just looked away, saying that she don't want to. Kais sighed and crouched to her level. I know that you don't want to give it, Rin-chan, but there are things that kids at your age shouldn't be involved with and should only be meant for adults only. So please, Rin-chan, give it. If you don't, I might have to use force that would lead us regretting it later on. Kais pleaded to his daughter. Rin faced her father and gave the pendant. Good. Kais smiled and patted the head of his daughter, making her pout. Will you return it afterwards, Oto-san? Len asked. Yes, I will. Now, I want you three take Luka-chan back to the compound, okay? Kais asked. What about you, Oto-san? Rin asked. I just have some business to attend with, don't worry, it won't be long. Now go. Also please tell your mom that I love her, okay? Can I trust you with that? Kais added with a smile. Even though it seems kinda gross, but I will, and please don't say it like you're gonna die in any moment right now, Oto-san. Rin replied, making his father cry anime tears. Do you really thought of me that low? To-chan's hurt. Gross. But please be careful, okay, Oto-san. Rin smiled to his father. I definitely will after hearing that confident boosting words coming from my lovely daughter, Kais said while trying to kiss his daughter, who's struggling to stop his father from doing so. We're leaving now, be careful, okay, Oto-san, Len said, already walking back to the compound with Kaito with the unconscious Luka at his back and Rin trailing behind him. Kais watched the retreating figures of the kids with a smile in his face. Now what should I do with this? Kais said to himself as he gave the three pendant that is emitting a blue light on his hand a thoughtful look. A mile away from Konoha. Throwing me away from the crowd to somewhere to stop the increase of casualties. What a really good ruler you are, huh? Naruto talked as a yellow flash appeared in front of him, revealing a pissed-off Minato. Oto-san, as much as I love to see you punish them for what they did to you, I still have to stop the bloodshed to continue as their Hokage. Minato comments at the boy's words. Naruto snorted at the remark. Hey, you don't say? He then removed his badly torn jacket, leaving only his gray shirt as his torso, and pointed at the jacket's collar, surprising Minato, but he didn't show it physically. So you figured it out? Minato spoke, making Naruto smile. Hiraishin no Jutsu, a technique that allows the user to transport themselves to a given marked location, which is originally created by the second Hokage, Tobirama Senju. Once a marking formula is already marked at a marking target, which could be an object or direct a person's skin, the mark will never disappear, not even the user can. Minato just listened to what his son is saying and was impressed at how much knowledge Naruto had about his signature technique. But there's only two things you can do if you're marked. You could remove the marked cloth from yourself or torn the marked part from your clothing if you don't want to get naked, of course. But if you're marked on a part of your body, there's nothing you can do. But if you're brave enough to amputate the marked part of yourself, then that's your only option, because if you don't, it's the end of the road for you. Am I right? Naruto added and cut the collar away from his jacket before wearing it again. Yes, you are. I'm impressed about your knowledge of the Hiraishin, and also, resorting to amputating yourself isn't really a bad idea if the marked place isn't your head. Minato remarked, making Naruto smile. You know, that's the first praise that I have received coming from you, father. Naruto's smile turned into a sad one. Minato's heart ached hearing his son's words. I'm sorry, son. Minato sadly replied. Saying sorry can only change nothing now. Now, since we're far away from any distractions, I won't hold back, Naruto said. Looking down, he cracked his right hand's ring finger with his left hand's thumb, and as if he released his limiter, a massive burst of heavy energy was then released from causing the place where Naruto was standing to have a crater and strong gusts of wind that is strong enough to blow a not properly nailed roof. Such intense chakra. If you're not someone else, then who really are you? Minato asked in surprise as he covered his face with his arm. Naruto raised his head, showing his smirking face, with his sword tense as Aingetsu on his arm, pointing towards the yellow flash. The point of the sword is charging a small, swirling, black with a bit of green orb that gets bigger in every second. Who am I? I am the manifestation of the hatred that existed within the heart and soul of the Naruto, you know. Without further delay, Minato then threw a lot of his signature tri-pronged kunai in the vicinity and readied himself for the incoming attack. Sarawas Kuras. The ball then released a massive black wave towards Minato, covering everything with blackness that not even the strongest light could defy. Minato's eyes widened at it and jumped away from wave, only for the black-green wave to follow him due to Naruto moving it. Minato was then engulfed to nothingness. Namikaze Estate, a while after Naruto's wake. Oni-chan? Azami muttered as she stared at the beaten small figure of his brother, Naruto, who's crying at the center of a crowd who's looking at him with eyes filled of hate, anger, and vengeance in their eyes. Just what did I do to deserve this? The small figure of Naruto yelled to the crowd only for a rock to answer his question. He fell to the ground and the place where the stone hit started bleeding. A man then approached him and crouched to his height before gripping his head by the hair. The answer to your question is simple, demon. You killed our loved ones, destroyed our homes, and killed our beloved son Daime. The man then threw Naruto to the crowd and no one bothered on catching him, and once his body touched the ground, they started beating him again until Naruto's small figure can't move anymore. If it isn't for the QB sealed inside of her right now, she would probably be crying more because of the pain. Azami, seeing this, had tears streaming down on her face with her hands covering her mouth due to the shock at what she just saw. She didn't know that their brother suffered this fate because of them. I'm sorry Oni-chan, I'm sorry. Azami closed her eyes, she don't want to see it anymore. When she opened her eyes again, he can see a smiling Naruto hugging his Otosan, Kurama. Azami can't help but smile sadly because the smile that she just seen right now had a lot of mixed feelings. Another bitter and painful memory showed again, including how she and her other brother, Menma, bullied him and framing him of something that he didn't do. And then, the countable happy memories of Naruto isn't helping either, it's just like adding salt to injury. Also, she learned that the QB wasn't on its wool when it attacked the village 10 years ago and that someone named Uchiha Madara is controlling it. Seeing all of his brother's memories excluding his capabilities and weaknesses, she promised to herself that she'll make his brother feel welcomed again from their family, and she never go back from her word. It's her ninja way after all. As she returned back to reality, she was entranced by people crying and sightings of people cuddling their knees or clutching their heads like how a traumatized person would, mostly coming from the non-ninja but wealthy civilians. She then saw her mom crying loudly with Mikado and Tsunade comforting her. A hand then appeared in front of her, she looked up and saw it's his brother, Menma. Need a hand? Menma asked, his hand still in front of her, and from the looks of it, he's also crying since his eyes are puffed red. Azami smiled sadly and put her hand on his. As Menma helped her up, she can feel that her brother is shaking and of course it's making her worried. Menma, are you okay? Azami asked worriedly to her shaking brother. Menma was stunned for a second and then spoke in a voice mixed with anger. Who would be okay after seeing the hell that their brother just went through for years, huh? Azami was shocked by his brother's words and smiled. Looks like we have the same goal after seeing that, huh? Menma looks at his sister for a moment and asked, what do you mean? Azami opened her mouth to reply but closed it, before smiling sadly again. Never mind, even if I told you about it you're just going to deny it, you're a tsundere after all. Menma just shrugged and replied, I don't know what you're talking about, all I care right now is making those idiots pay for what they did to brother. And again, Azami was stunned by the words that left his second eldest brother's mouth again. Despite being part of the hell that their brother went through, he sure is serious at making the people have their retribution of what they did to their brother. But, Azami, knowing his brother well than their parents do, had her eyes narrowed. And what are you going to do after that, Menma? I'm retaining what's rightfully mine. Azami just sighed hearing those words coming from her brother. Just as I thought. Just give up already, Menma, you know that wouldn't happen. Whatever you say, come on, both of us should go to Kachan now. I'm worried about her mentality after seeing all of the things that brother just went through. Menma replied. Kushina saw her two children, or should I say, her two favorite children, going to her direction. She stood up and approached the two, making Tsunade and Mikado look at her worriedly. When she's close enough, she then raised her hand to the air and slapped the two, leaving a rose-colored hand mark on their faces, surprising the people at the room as the loud slap echoed in the room. Kushina's face was filled with anger, Menma's face is blank since he knew it coming, and Azami is too shocked that she just touched the place at where she was hit. Keiko-chan. Why? Azami asked as her eyes started to moist. This made Kushina more angrier since she know that this is how she stalled them to punish their brother, Naruto, from doing something he didn't. She was about to go for another slap on her but Mikado stopped her hand from doing so. How dare you two do that to your brother behind our backs, you spoiled brats. Their mother yelled right at them, scaring Menma and Azami but is taking it worse than her brother. The people that saw the scene just keep their mouths shut since they don't want to taste the fear of being attacked by the red-hot-blooded habanero. Do you brats even know how much damage you have dealt to your brother, huh? Do you brats even know how much sufferings your brother faced just because of how you two treated your brother, huh? As Kushina continued yelling at them, Menma can't help but just look down and bit his lip and clenched his fist while Azami just covered her mouth, muffling her repeating speaking of I'm sorry as fresh new tears is falling again from her eyes. But suddenly, Kushina hugged both of them, surprising them. I'm sorry. I know that I'm the one who's to be blamed at all of it. As a mother I should have realized it sooner but I didn't. I'm sorry. Things shouldn't have to be like this. If only I treated all of you equally. I promise that starting from now on, I'll treat all of you equally, so please don't leave me, please." As Kushina said those words between crying, the two hugged their mom back and cried. "I'm sorry, Ka-chan. We promise that we won't leave you, that's a promise," Azami said as she cried at the chest of her mom. Menma smiled and also spoke. "We promise you that, Ka-chan." "I'm glad to hear that." Kushina just smiled sadly and hugged the two while crying. The people who's on their right man that saw them can't help but smile at how heartwarming the scene is. What in the world just happened here? Someone yelled outside the room, attracting everyone's. Jiraiya, who just woke up with face plastered with regret, checked at what's happening outside. The others that is on their right minds right now then followed. All of them gasped at seeing the scene in front of them. Amputated limbs, dead people and crying people grieving at their dead people. Just what in the world? Tsunade gasped, seeing that some people needed some medical attention. She immediately ran to their sides and healed them. "Shizune, I want you to call every available staff from the Konoha hospital to come here right now," Tsunade commanded her assistant, who just nodded in affirmation and followed at what she was told to do so. "Who did this to you?" Tsunade asked softly to the man she was treating right now who lost his left arm recently. The demon did, Tsunade-sama." The man said in an afraid tone. "Demon?" "He could be talking about Naruto," Jiraiya said, answering her question, who's also asking at the others at what happened here. "What?" Tsunade yelled in disbelief. "No. That kid is not a demon," a random woman said, and from the looks of it he just woke up also, for some unknown reasons. "She's crying." "Are you blind? Can't you see it what that demon just did right now?" "Maybe you are. If there's a demon here that would be us. Don't you people know that the demon is sealed inside the Hokage's eldest son to keep it at bay?" The random woman yelled back. Everyone fell silent after that and murmuring started. "That kid's memories are just so sad. I feel really bad right now for treating that kid as a demon, even though he's just the jailer of it. I'm going to apologize after this." "Yeah, me too." The people that lost a limb and the people that didn't fight Naruto can't believe at what they're hearing. And then a random man yelled, "Don't be deceived by the demon, everyone. We know that the demon used a strong genjutsu and made fake memories so that we will pity it." The murmuring stopped for a moment after hearing this. Kushina was really angry and was about to teach the guy a lesson, but then Mikoto stopped her, again. Azami also is really angry right now and Menma is just angry. Tsunade kept her temper in check. Jiraiya face-palmed at the guy's stupidity. Kakashi is just silent, but deep inside he is very angry, and the rest are like Kakashi. He could be right, maybe. How dare that demon used our kindness to its advantage. Trusting the demon is like digging your own grave, isn't it? It really is. Just how stupid I am to believe that. The woman that said earlier finally spoke. "Shut up." Everyone looked at the owner of the voice and saw that it was Kushina, who is now seething in anger, plus her hair waving like the Kyuubi's nine tails. "But Kushina-sama, we were just stating the fact." "Don't worry, Kushina-sama, after Hokage-sama kills the demon you'll probably be released from the demon's control," the man that yelled earlier said in a manner like he really knows the situation. He was replied by a punch in the face, causing in return by the very angry red-hot-blooded habanero. Suddenly, something blasted a mile away from the walls of Konoha. The people looked closer and saw a black-green wave engulfing everything on its path. Without thinking, Kushina ran to its direction, surprising everyone seeing her run. Kushina can hear some people yelling at her to stop, but she didn't care. She just keep on running to its direction. For some reason, she can hear a weeping child coming from the wave. She bit her lower lip with both hands curled into fists as she thought of only one person while going to the black-green wave. Naruto. Back to Naruto's mindscape. Naruto watched intently at the rippling water down the cage with the black sword resting on his left shoulder while using his right hand's thumb finger to crack his free fingers of his right hand. "What? Done already?" Naruto spoke out. He then saw a couple of bubbles coming below the surface. "Like hell I am." With a huge splash from the water, Naruto appeared with his left eye still producing blue flame. "So, how do you feel?" Naruto asked, seriously, surprising Naruto. "Funny hearing that from someone who's trying to kill me," Naruto retorted. He read his inner self's mind and knew why he's asking. "Better, after all you've finally returned the stolen 85% of my chakra. I applaud you for taking it without me realizing that I only have 15% left. Originally, that technique could only have taken 10% of my chakra." Naruto chuckles at his answer. "Things such as that is just an easy feat. After all, I am a deceiver," Naruto replied, cracking his right hand's thumb with the index finger. Naruto could swear that Naruto's both eyes flashed red for a split second. Without further delay, Naruto then created some hand signs at a speed that only cage-level shinobi could see. "Raiten, Raryu no Tatsumaki no Jutsu," Naruto yelled as a lightning dragon then charged Naruto's direction, while trailing behind it with Tensa's Aingetsu on his right hand. The latter also made some hand signs at the same speed as Naruto's. As he gathered his wind elemental affinity to his throat, Fuuten, Datapa. A large blast of wind was then blew from his mouth and countered the lightning dragon. The white-haired boy then ducked as he saw a glint of a black metal at the corner of his eye and did a side sweep. The latter hopped only for another kick to go after his face. Naruto leaned forward to dodge it and was about to send a slash with his sword to the right only for it to be stopped by the latter's left wrist. Naruto sent a quick slash to the latter's head but the latter dodged, barely. They then faced and sent a lot of strike to each other. Naruto, realizing that he can't keep up with his enemy at his position, decided to jump away to take a breather. "What? Stopping already?" Naruto said mockingly as he looked at Naruto, his breathing heavily. Naruto then pulled his sleeve away from his hand as he raised his right arm in front of him while holding his sword with his right arm, revealing a wristband seal that is enough to store a lot of weapons. In a poof, a Fuuma Shuriken then materialized from his left hand and threw it to Naruto. Naruto tried to read his mind only to see darkness. He snickered as he stared at the cage under them. "Bastard!" Having no other choice, Naruto engaged. Naruto, holding his sword with his mouth, made some hand signs with the same speed as before. Ox, dog, dragon, rat, dog, boar, snake, and tiger. Crap. Don't tell me? The white-haired boy's eyes widened at the realization of the technique that Naruto was about to use right now. The latter can't help but smirk, knowing that there's no way you can escape the technique he was about to use. Shuriken Cage Bunshin no Jutsu. The single Fuuma Shuriken then multiplied to 50. Naruto, while running towards the shurikens, created 4 clones that made the same hand signs while the original is running to the side. What is he up to now? I probably would have known if only he forgot to block his mind from being read. Naruto thought, then he saw the hand signs that the 4 clones created. Fuuten, Repusho. The 4 clones exclaimed as the Fuuma shurikens changed direction to the blonde-haired boy directions. Naruto, send a quick slash to Naruto, who just dodged with ease and jumped away from the latter. The white-haired boy was then stormed by the Fuuma shurikens, but he was unscathed as the Fuuma shurikens just passed through his body like he's not even there to begin with. "Smart, but not smart enough," Naruto said as he channeled some chakra on his hand and moved it in a pulling motion, and if you look closer, you could see 50 strings coming from his hand and you could see an electricity flowing from it. The Fuuma shurikens now channeled with lightning, disconnected with each other and fired in cardinal directions, surprising the white-haired boy. "Shit. My Hugetsu Jigen-to is almost losing its effect." Having no other choice, he dodged and blocked all the incoming blades. A blade then pierced his left hand, and then his right leg, causing him to fall to his knee. Despite the pain he was enduring right now, he sensed another one incoming and aiming to his head. Luckily he dodged, barely. He stood up and blocked the incoming blades again. Since dodging it seems impossible, he was too late to react to the others behind him and ended up being pierced throughout him but his head. He yelled in agony as he fell to the ground with 5 blades pierced on his front while 20 on the back. Blood splattered everywhere and a pool of blood started to form from where he lied, only to end up being washed away by the rain. Naruto, with no remorse, not even minding the bloody scene in front of him since he's used to it, made a clone of him which is also making some hand signs. Kaden, Shinhidora no Jutsu. A fire dragon with 3 heads then appeared. Fuuten, Datapa. The 2 techniques then combined with each other, forming a very strong fire-wind technique that water can't put out easily. The 2 then engaged and slammed into Naruto, thus engulfing him in the process. Naruto looked intently at the steaming area where his attacks land, sensing that his enemy is already done, or what he thought, turn around and was about to jump down to where the cage's seal is located, but then he heard a chain moving. Sensing the incoming danger, he turned around and saw an incoming black sword aiming for his head, but it's too fast that Naruto could only change its trajectory with his sword, resulting for a small cut to his cheek. The sword then retracted to the steam by its chain. Naruto could see someone walking inside the steam with 25 blades sticking from his body. Said person then swung his sword, resulting for the cloud of steam away. There, Naruto could see his inner self bleeding and his face had a lot of his own blood, obviously, but instead of his inner self to have a pained expression, he is smiling smugly, a smile that is saying, "Is that all you got?" Naruto then removed all of the blades that is attached from him as without flinching. The latter stared wide-eyed how his inner self survived with the addition of removing the rigged Fuuma Shuriken with ease. "How did you survived?" Naruto asked in dread. As the last blade was removed from Naruto, he then moved both of his shoulder in a circular motion, causing it to release a lot of cringing, cracking sound. The white-haired boy smirked and looked at him. "Now, it's my turn." After cracking his right hand's thumb with the index finger, He burst to Naruto's direction in a speed same as the current rakeage. Naruto sent a vertical strike but Naruto blocked it. The white-haired boy struck him again, but stronger this time. The latter was forced to use his other hand to the blade as the hit gets stronger. The white-haired boy suddenly attacked him with a hurricane kick, successfully hitting him on his face and his stomach, and of course, Naruto staggered by the attack. Seeing the opportunity to land a lethal blow, Naruto threw his sword to Naruto's direction, only for the target to dodge. Barely that a strand of his hair has been cut. Naruto struck him horizontally but the extendable chains blocked the point of his sword. The latter then moved his right hand in a pulling motion. Realizing the incoming sword behind him, Naruto jumped away. As the sword reached Naruto's hands, he then channeled a wind chakra on it, thus improving its lightness and sharpness. With this, he can swing his own sword like a thin stick. Naruto, knowing his disadvantage, also did the same. After all, both of them are just one, or so what Naruto thought. The two then engaged at each other. Sparks can be seen between them as their swords grind at each other. Naruto then sent a heavy kick to the latter's stomach, who failed to anticipate it. Naruto stumbled but quickly recovered and then struck Naruto with his sword at the head, but the latter dodged it with ease and sent a vertical strike to his attacker only for it to be dodged. Naruto then took a step backward and sent a kick to the latter's face only for it to be dodged again. Naruto gripped the latter's leg tightly and threw him upward and threw his sword to Naruto's direction at a speed that Naruto barely followed. He tried to block it with his sword but still ended up being cut at his and the chain to wrap around his left wrist. He was then pulled and received a painful jab to the face only for him to change into a lightning and electrocuting Naruto's left arm. He would probably be electrocuted all over his body if he didn't block the lightning with his wind affinity chakra. The sword that the lightning clone was dropped and poof into the real Naruto, holding the sword that he turned to and sent a fast stroke to Naruto, piercing the white-haired boy's arm as he used it to block the attack, since he knew that it is too late to block it with his sword at his right hand. Naruto then pulled back his sword with blood soaking it and jumped away from him. Henjin Raiten, Kage Bunshine, Naruto voiced and spin his sword by the chain and throw it to Naruto's direction, but Naruto saw it coming and blocked him. As the through sword stopped mid-air, a hand then grabbed it and slashed Naruto from right hip to his left shoulder, making lots of blood to gush out from the slashed area. Naruto's eyes was overshadowed by his blonde hair and Naruto's eye was also covered by his white hair and his mouth left slightly opened. Naruto stood straight and said, "I'm sorry." He then turned around, his eyes hinted to of regret, and his teeth biting his lower lip as blood started to appear by it. He then slowly walked back to the seal to free his Otosan. "You really are naive to believe that I will die after that. You won't last long if I did take you seriously. And it's twice this time, how stupid." Naruto didn't have a chance to react as the black sword, the same as his, passed through between his chest. Naruto's eyes are wide open, blood starting to trickle down from his mouth. The blood on the sword between his chest is slowly being washed away by the sword, and Naruto can explain the agonizing pain he's feeling right now. He shakenly turned his head around and saw Naruto looking at him blankly. Naruto pulled the sword back, leaving Naruto to fall to the floor. "Back first. Looks like I win." Naruto just stared at him. He wanted to speak but the pain is too much since Naruto added lightning to the sword when he was pierced by it. Naruto just looked blankly at him as he raised his sword to the air, ready to pierce the blonde-haired boy's head with it. "Any last words?" Naruto asked, only for Naruto to smirk and spoke in a husky voice. Sorry. But, lost." Naruto didn't really catch what Naruto said but just let it be, after all it would be his last words to utter. "Is that all? Well then, farewell Naruto, with this way, you wouldn't suffer this world's cruelty anymore." The sword was then coated by lightning and Naruto finally stroked the sword to Naruto's head, resulting for blood being splattered everywhere and flesh being incinerated. That's the end guys. If you enjoyed then make sure to leave a comment. This is Chaos Shinobi signing off.